What I'm not going to do is censor myself and or not talk about the real issues. Okay?
Just you asking that question, you sound ignorant as hell. Because there are plenty black construction workers making 42, less than 42, but hard as hell. Okay?
Work harder.
Chill. See, that's
To not be a victim means to fight. To not be a victim means to have some strength and some courage and some character. And we're not seeing that. We're seeing black men cry about the system. We're seeing black men cry about the lack of education that they're getting and the education that black women are getting.
And that's something that we don't think about when we're on these panels. We're thinking we're talking to a regular guy about a regular subject. Meanwhile, he's seething because he's thinking about all the rejection he's had in his life. And here's a woman that represents that rejection.
Because there's a divine order to this. So if you want a woman to submit to you, you need to submit to God.
That's
everybody has a role in the
madness.
madness.
If you are complaining about promiscuous women, stop promoting promiscuous women as desirable women, right?
They're the biggest consumers.
Don't hire. I mean, it's everything. The way that life works, supply and demand.
These are the white men that you all told me to go to their channel, that they're going to bash white women on their channel and talk about them in the way that y'all talk about black women. And I go on their channels and see that they're bashing black men on their channel.
The real question is the black woman ready for this type of leadership? Is she
Negated
ready?
everything.
No, I did not. Listen.
Yes, you did.
You're saying I negated it because you don't want to hear that part.
Because there's no point in saying it.
What I'm not going to do is censor myself and or not talk about the real issues. Okay?
Just you asking that question, you sound ignorant as hell. Because there are plenty black construction workers making 42, less than 42, work hard as hell. Okay?
Work harder.
Chill. See, that's
To not be a victim means to fight. To not be a victim means to have some strength and some courage and some character. And we're not seeing that. We're seeing black men cry about the system. We're seeing black men cry about the lack of education that they're getting and the education that black women are getting.
And that's something that we don't think about when we're on these panels. We're thinking we're talking to a regular guy about a regular subject. Meanwhile, he's seething because he's thinking about all the rejection he's had in his life. And here's a woman that represents that rejection.
Because there's a divine order to this. So if you want a woman to submit to you, you need to submit to God.
That's
everybody has a role
so
in the madness.
If you're complaining about promiscuous women, stop promoting promiscuous women as desirable women, right?
They're the biggest consumers.
Don't hire. I mean, it's everything. The way that life works, supply and demand.
These are the white men that you all told me to go to their channel, that they're going to bash white women on their channel and talk about them in the way that y'all talk about black women. And I go on their channels and see that they're bashing black men on their channel.
The real question is the black woman ready for this type of leadership? Is she
Negated everything.
No, I did not. Listen. You're saying I negated it because you don't want to hear that part.
Because there's no point in saying it.
Now it's like a conditioning thing and we kind of overlook it. But in the manosphere, in those spaces, they are blatantly disrespectful to black women, like disrespectful. And we continue to make them popular.
Hey y'all. Hello, Gems and Jules. Welcome. I'm happy to be back, y'all. Like, I am Tawana G. For everybody who don't know, I am Tawana G. Let me put my little title up there. Okay, y'all can see it a little bit better. And yeah, I've been gone for a couple weeks. Did y'all miss me? Just tell me in the chat if y'all missed me. I know y'all did. But we're gonna get into some stuff today. I wanted to come back with a bang because it's been so much stuff happening in the media lately. I literally was like, oh my God, the media is crazy. Like, it's so powerful. And I think that we don't really understand how powerful it is or really see it. I mean, I think some people do. That's why a lot of people are afraid to kind of be public, right? In the public eye. That's why a lot of people stay silent. That's why a lot of people don't kind of participate because they don't want the media to come after them. But I just know like the media is really powerful, y'all. So I want to talk about some of these power dynamics and struggles. But before that, I gotta bring my boy Freezy onto the panel. Hold on. Hey, Freezy.
We're back.
We're back.
Listen,
Like, we been gone.
I don't know what y'all thought. We ain't gone nowhere. Tawana G, Freezy. And you know what, Tawana? I ain't being nice to these MFers no more. We about to get crunk.
Good. I'm tired of being. I guess I wasn't being nice.
You ain't never been nice.
They were saying I wasn't being nice anyway, so I was just keep on doing what I do. You know what I'm saying?
That's
Hi,
real.
Hi, Michelle.
What's up, Michelle?
Hello, honey. I just miss y'all so much. I can't wait to get started. I can't wait to get back in here. But I was just kind of like, look, so Passover, you know, it was April. So I cook for Easter, you know what I mean, for my family. So everybody expects me to cook.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like the matriarch, you know, because I'm the big sister. You know what I mean? I'm the big sister. So,
What'd you cook? What all you cook?
I cooked greens. I cooked mac and cheese. I cooked beef.
You can stop right there.
I usually cook something like that. And hello, clicks and views. Thank you so much for supporting our channel. I hope you enjoy today. Thank you so much for being a new subscriber. Please don't forget to like the video, y'all. Don't forget to like it. But yeah, I cooked. So I was like, okay, April, you know, that was Sunday. So I was like, okay, my family over here, we kicking it. I can't go live Sunday. And then the following week was my anniversary. And I'm like, well, me and my husband, we went out of town, you know, we're gonna be kicking it. I'm not gonna stop that and go live. So I just took a couple weeks off.
I know I told you on Instagram, but happy belated anniversary.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, I'll be back in 2 weeks. So that may be the 2 weeks that I have to take off annually.
Right.
You know, but I will be back, y'all, and I will always come back and ready to talk about some stuff. We're gonna get into these topics today because we want to talk about the power of the media. And I want to bring my boy Haran on. Hello, Haran.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? How y'all been, man?
What up, HD?
What's going on, Freezy? How you been, man?
Man, I've been working in the background, bro.
Hey, man, that's all you can do, man.
Haran, did you miss me, Haran? I've been gone.
Of course I did.
Weeks.
Of course I did, man.
You know, people can't even act like I've been, you know, live. I guess I was kind of on other shows, you know, but I wasn't like live on Sunday no more.
Well, I mean, you know, you needed a break from certain things, man.
That's
you know
right.
what I mean? It's always good to plug, especially from these certain spaces, man. Sometimes, man.
Tell me about it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I want to focus specifically on the content, you know, what I want to talk about.
Absolutely.
And, you know, and when I got everything stuff going on, and, you know, family is more important than anything. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do my family thing. And then I get back to the content, you know, but y'all my family too. So I love y'all. You know, I wasn't going to neglect you for too long.
It's called a vacation from ninjas.
That's right.
Sometimes
then,
you need a ninja vacation sometimes.
Well, not actually. I wasn't taking no vacation from them. You don't need no vacation from them. They don't do nothing to me.
Okay, well,
I
I'm a
don't care about
person
no damn
where
ninjas. You know, they
I'm a
have less
person that
than
likes.
nothing. Yeah, yeah,
I
no,
don't
no.
like noise. I don't
No,
like
no.
noise.
I
You know
don't
what I
care about
mean?
no. I'm not gonna take no break from no ninjas. I want to take a
Tawana
break
don't
and
give a
focus on.
damn.
Yeah, I don't, no,
Right,
I ain't gonna do that. I'm gonna take a break from my family because I
right.
cooked. I cooked on Easter, and then we celebrated our year anniversary, and we were like, I want to spend time with him and just
Right.
enjoy my husband because we don't really get to go places without the kids all the time. So that was fun. So yeah, no, I don't need no break from like these people don't
I
scare me. These people
well,
don't scare me.
I at times personally need a break from white people. Last week I fulfilled. Last week I fulfilled my European quota, and
Okay, wait, what
Chill out,
happened?
Haran.
Yeah,
yeah,
God
I'm
yeah.
trying to
damn,
figure out
man.
what happened though. Like, why do you need a break from?
Oh, me personally in my own life, you know what I mean? Just it was work and so on and so forth. I was just like, yeah, the two
Oh,
days
at
thing
work.
just came at the right time because I was tired of white people for the week.
Yes, yes, I get it. Well, today, today it's just so much going on in the media that I want to talk about that I
It's
really
too
want to
much
address.
going on.
It's a lot
Yeah.
going on. Um, but let's talk about representation in the media, right? And like how certain groups in racial groups specifically, how they're portrayed and how that portrayal affects people's perception of them, right? And
Mhm.
sometimes, especially with people of color, black people specifically, like sometimes that perception is racialized and then it's put on all black men or all black women, and so it's like it's dangerous what the media's perception of some people can do to our community. But it does affect other groups as well. Media is powerful for all other groups. It's not just us. But I just
Mhm.
see how it impacts our community so much more. When I say our community, I mean black community, right? I see how
Mhm.
it impacts the black community, the media for sure, perpetuated by our own people sometimes. So
Mhm.
it's not like it's the imaginary white man all the time doing stuff. It's like our
Mhm.
own people sometimes perpetuating these stereotypes, these ideas, and pushing these agendas um unknowingly, I guess. I don't even know if that's unknowingly. Maybe they are aware that that's what they do. What do y'all think
Mhm.
about that? Because I feel like I give people credit all the time, like, oh yeah, they don't know. Maybe they just, they're not aware. They don't see the institutionalism of the racism. They don't understand the power in what they're doing, but maybe they do understand it and they don't care.
Well, I
Uh,
used to be this big conspiracy theorist, right? I used to say the white man is the one that's holding the strings over these ninjas, right? I used to say that, but after a while, when you come to your senses, you understand that we have to start taking accountability somewhere. We got to. I mean, just because what it boils down to now, the powers that be are holding the bag over people's heads. Huh? Come get this money, and we're biting on it. But everything that has a price on it is not always good. Just sometimes. Okay, just that reminds me of the conversation that um, Monique had with Steve Harvey on the show, and it was a fight between the money game and the integrity game. I don't know if y'all seen that interview that Monique
yes,
had with.
Uh-uh,
yes, I
I didn't
did.
see it. You
Yes,
Okay,
I
saw it?
did.
Haran, you
Okay.
seen it.
Yeah, tell
So
me
Yes, it,
what happened.
so basically, Monique, this was when she was going through it with Netflix, and I forgot Amy Schumer or whatever.
And
She
Lee
got
yeah,
a
Daniels.
big deal, but
Mhm.
um I think Monique, they only offered Monique $500,000, and she started protesting Netflix and stuff like that. And she appeared on Steve Harvey's show, and Steve Harvey was debating with her and telling her, hey, sometimes you just have to play the game. This
Yeah.
is the business.
Mhm,
And she
mhm.
was saying, listen, uh my integrity is worth more than the money. And
Right.
Steve Harvey was like, listen, this is not about integrity. This is not an integrity game. This is a money game. But shortly after that, Steve Harvey's network fired him, and he ended up having to go full time on Facebook. I think he only has his show is on Facebook now,
Yeah.
just
Mhm,
like
mhm.
Red Table Talk or whatnot. So
Wait,
we have to start taking
he got what,
accountability.
Judge Steve or whatever? What is his show now? Judge Steve or Steve Watch Steve or something
Oh,
like
he don't
that?
got the talk show no more then.
Right, he don't have a talk show, right?
Oh, see, I forgot he back on. Okay, he back on TV then. So, but so basically, Monique was right.
Right.
We have to have some type of integrity. We got to. You know, I'm not finna put a dress on just because they waving a bag in my face. That's not me. You know, where do we draw the line? So that goes back to what you were saying about the black community. Are we trying to? Do we actually care about ourselves? Do we care about how we looking out here in these streets and in these YouTube streets? Well, you know, that's a whole nother thing. But I'm just saying, like,
that's media too. That's media too, though. You know what I'm saying?
Do we really care though?
Yeah.
Or is it about clicks and giggles?
You know what?
Well,
and I got some real, like literally some real questions that I want y'all to answer later. But go ahead, Haran. I really want to hear what you got to say. And hi, Simon. Hi, welcome, honey. Thank you so much. Thank you for everyone who's joining. Don't forget to like the video and listen in. We're talking about the power of the media and how it can change the perception, especially for certain racial groups, and how those racial groups can then be racialized as a result of those perceptions. So I'm just getting their, initial thoughts on this subject. And if somebody wants to join the panel, I am going to have an open panel. So please let me know. But go ahead, Haran. What's your thoughts on this?
Well, I believe that it's a very multi-layered problem that we really don't take the opportunity to really discuss often. All right, so you have to look at it like this. Everything is based and boils down to behavior. And behavior, when it's repeated, any behavior, when it's repeated, becomes a habit. Now, you have generational habits, you have family habits, and all it is repeated behavior. But then these repeated behaviors and these ideas, those lead to culture. When that becomes a part of a culture, then that's attached to a person's identity a lot of times. So a lot of times, what we perceive ourselves to be as Black people, a lot of times those are just really learned toxic behaviors from generations and generations and generations ago. A lot of times we don't know ourselves individually as Black people, because we might, as I say, not all Black people are a monolith. You are an individual at the end of the day. You are a person. If Freezy can be from the Black community, and yes, he is allowed to have tastes that would be considered outside of Black culture. He should not, he or I or you, should not be disparaged for saying like, oh yeah, well, I want to go, to see an opera or something to that effect. Something that is not necessarily, synonymous with Black culture. We don't have to put ourselves in a box. And a lot of times, a lot of the frustrations that we have as a people stem from the fact that we stunt our own growth, which leads to arrested development, which leads to the very infantile and very adolescent like behavior that keeps both genders and a lot of people from basically practicing accountability.
So Haran, let me say this. Are you kind of saying that some of the perceptions that we have in the media, we brought it on ourselves, and that they are in fact a true representation? Is that what you're saying?
No, what I'm saying is that what I'm basically saying is that, well, first of all, you have to look at the crux of the situation. A lot of the behaviors that we have, it's based on having a lack of identity in a space such as America. And when you're in such a vulnerable space, the people who are in control, they're allowed to create these narratives. They're allowed to create these perceptions that they want you to follow because it serves them. So yes, a lot of the things that we might have adopted, whether it might pertain to our diets, the way that we treat our emotional health, our physical health, and so on and so forth. A lot of that could have been, and, a lot of that is narratives created to keep us subjugated, and we've adopted those things, and we don't question them enough.
So you're saying there are people holding strings? Is you saying?
Well, I don't think there are people. I would say this. I will say that yes, there are people who do create narratives that, what I mean, in the interest of controlling us, but we do have the option to break away from those strings and those narratives. And to believe that we don't have that option, there entails the mental enslavement. You have a choice. I don't think many of us really tell ourselves that we have a choice. You do not have to behave in this way. The boogeyman is not going to come and get you if go outside and behave like a deplorable. You know what I mean? That's not going to happen to you.
Yeah, I think you're right, because a lot of people are still in the victimhood mentality where we blame someone else for the failure in our community or the failure of ourselves. We still in a place where we feel like that institutionalized racism and all these other things, police brutality, all these other things are preventing us from being great, when really the only thing that can prevent us from being great is us. Like we're the only ones that can stop us from being great. I understand that those things exist. I don't want to discount that racism exists. I don't want to discount that police brutality is an issue. What I'm saying is that we can definitely do things to put ourselves in other situations, right?
Absolutely, I totally agree.
Yeah, and I think we failed to. But I'll talk about my perception of the media. I feel that we have seen the power that the media have over people's livelihood. Like we've seen it materialize in real life. If you think about even Dave Chappelle and his special and how that reaction from the LGBTQI community impacted future deals for him, right? Now he didn't care about that, but it did impact that for him. And that was literally a movement that happened on Twitter where people were like, he is transphobic, this is a problem. And it just kind of took over. The community went to his money, right? His livelihood. And they said, look, we're going to stop him from, yes, he didn't care. Yes, he didn't let it impact him, and he still spoke out about it. But the fact that media presence has that much power over your livelihood, your life, and that's not even the first case, right? There's been even Rihanna with Fenty line. She's literally dropped several models because of comments that they've made on social media. Someone actually made a hurtful comment about like domestic violence, and she ended the contract with them. She literally was like, nope. And she made one comment and it literally cost her entire contract with Fenty, where she's still kind of hoping that she could get back in. And Rihanna's like, nope. I mean, there has been many things that's happened on the media that's impacted people's real lives and their money. And we'll talk about more of those cases because I'm going to get into some of those. But I really first want to talk about DaBaby, right? Because DaBaby, he literally have been through it with social media. With his video went public, his concert, where he made a derogatory comment about the gay community. He wasn't even really talking about trans people. He was talking about just the gay community in general. He said some very disgusting things about that. And it literally stopped him from being able to participate in, like, what was it, Coachella or something big that he was contracted to participate in. And then all of these other deals, they were like, we're not messing with DaBaby. Like, he had to literally apologize, go on a Dave Chappelle kind of stood up for him, and so that's why I brought up Dave Chappelle, because Dave Chappelle kind of mentioned him in his comedy special. But these things have happened and have impacted them. But DaBaby's going through some stuff right now that I really wanted to talk about. And I don't know if you guys saw the Rolling Stone article. Have y'all seen it? So Rolling Stones put out an article. Basically, it highlights the incident in Walmart when he
it's being brought back in question, right?
as being brought back in question, he allegedly murked Jalen Craig in self-defense, right? So there's this, he was pretty much found to be standing his ground, and they found that he did nothing wrong, and they did agree that he was it was self-defense, right? So let's put that out there. He was investigated and it was found that he acted in self-defense. However, Rolling Stone put out a new video that kind of questioned that. And the video was apparently from a different angle. And it showed DaBaby as the aggressor. And so from the footage, he appears to be the aggressor in the situation, calling to question his whole self-defense claim. So trust, it was one article from Rolling Stone that now people are saying, look, there's something going on here. This man is a problem. And so now his history of violence is coming out. And apparently Jalen Craig, who is the victim, his parents spoke out about this. His mother, she's still living in Charlotte. She literally said that she still suffers from anxiety because of this whole situation of her son's death. And she says that she kind of has to keep seeing people share pictures of Jalen and his body being lifeless next to a pool of blood. And it really it's causing her anxiety. But the fact that this whole thing came out, Rolling Stone pretty much have poked holes in this self-defense theory, right? And it's literally just because it went, and then that article went viral. It went viral. So everybody is questioning whether DaBaby really acted in self-defense.
Ironically, this coming out after he made these disparaging remarks about the gay community.
Right.
I don't know. Maybe it's coincidental. I don't think so. It's got correlation.
Well, now they have this whole thing in 2019. He came out with the song where he was kind of making fun of the fact that he shot Jalen Craig. We all know what the song is. I'm not gonna say the lyric. But the problem is that Craig, the one who was murked, he also was carrying a weapon. His weapon was reported stolen, but he did have a conceal and carry license. Craig did.
Right, correct.
He did. On the other hand, DaBaby did not. Right? He did have a weapon, a conceal and carry weapon, but he didn't. He apparently, previous issues that he's had, he's unable to obtain a conceal and carry license. So he was not supposed to have a weapon on him at that time. If
he
you
finna get fucked up. That's what you finna say.
You look at the video. If you look at the video, I mean, I have the video, but if you look at the video, it looks like DaBaby kind of started the altercation. And
I'm gonna tell you another thing, Tawana. What hasn't been a good look.
Yeah.
He's been videoed fighting a couple of his artists and a rival artist as well on camera. So he's been showing spurts of violent nature.
Well, April 13th, he was involved in another non-fatal, but it was non-fatal, but it was another shooting at his home where someone was allegedly trespassing and he shot them. And now in March of 2022, he is caught on video kind of slapping a woman. And then,
So
recently, like you said, he's been in this physical altercation. So now people are starting to look at his history of violence and kind of starting violence. And so we're like, did they make a mistake? So he also, slapped a 65-year-old man.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's actually in a lawsuit regarding a 65-year-old man who he
Why can't
sucker.
these guys slap me?
Well, he sucker punched him. December
I
2020.
need. I'm gonna get that
there's
money.
there's
And he
there's, there's no
and
such
he
thing
knocked
as sucker
and he
punching
knocked
a stick.
he knocked his tooth out too.
There's no such thing as sucker
What?
punching a 65-year-old man.
Yeah, he knocked his
Okay,
tooth out.
that's a 65-year-old man. You attacked a senior citizen.
Yeah,
That's what that is.
like
He
the
knocked
Um,
his teeth out.
I will say this. He's a prime example of.
hold
Here's the
on. So
thing.
Torrance, we're talking about DaBaby and the recent video that Rolling Stone posted about the whole self-defense incident. So if y'all can look it up, because I don't want to play it because I don't want no copyright strikes. But there is a video that Rolling Stone put out about DaBaby, and it basically shows another angle of that whole Walmart incident where he was supposedly defending himself. It shows DaBaby as the aggressor in that situation. And so now I'm saying that now they're starting to pull up all of his history of violence in the last year or so. Um, Preferably the last 2 years, and they're starting to question whether he really acted in self-defense and really if Charlotte missed the mark on investigating this entire thing and if he really truly was the aggressor, right? But that is the power of media, right? Because now Rolling Stone posted this article. Now they're starting to connect his violent behavior to all of these other incidents. And so we're just talking about kind of what happened. Yes, the video's from a few years back, but now it's being brought up as a part of his history of everything else that he's been doing. So yeah, the video is old, but Rolling Stones presented it just this year, right? A couple months ago. So we're just kind of dissecting it and talking about it. And just trying to figure out like what does that mean for DaBaby and his perception in the media. And I want to know from y'all, like, is DaBaby contributing to his own bad perception in the media?
No,
Yeah.
that's a completely different situation, Tawana. That's not some little kid, you know what I mean, who's trying to do well in school, and his white teacher is immediately, you know what I mean, perceiving him as he's going to be a problem because he's a black kid, and she has absolutely nothing to base off. No, this dude out here, he's punching old men, he's slapping up fans, he's backing out on people. He's, you know what I mean? Like, look, listen, a guy like that. Here's a problem. He's obviously not that bright, because if, first of all, he's going to behave in that manner, and you're going to sit there and have a very colorful, you know what I mean, perception of homosexuals. You're going to sit there and you're going to come after that community, and you've done all these things. You basically are telling them, please take me down. You're in the music industry, which is essentially, entertainment is essentially heralded by the liberal community. Okay? So you're essentially hitting the heart of the liberal community, and you're just wilding out like a moron. You're essentially just literally just digging your own grave. He's an idiot. He's a complete idiot.
What you think, Freezy, about DaBaby and that whole thing?
I think these dudes is just ass backwards. You know, one of the biggest phrases in the hip hop world is securing the bag. I don't call that securing the bag. You get in the bag, but you damn sure ain't securing it, because you out here acting crazy. You're doing stupid stuff to get, criticized and caught up in some bullshit. I don't understand these. I don't understand these ninjas. I want to talk how I really want to talk, but I'm just saying, like,
we'll call them ninjas. We'll call them ninjas.
We'll call them ninjas. Listen, I don't understand these ninjas, because you get in the money. You get, you finally made it to what, the 1 percentile, and you're making millions of dollars. And you did all of that hard work that you say you put in just to F it up.
Well, that
Do
comes
you
out.
do you know what? Do you know how many ninjas I know would kill to have this opportunity? And you got it. And you listen, leave the gay community alone. Stop feeling like you can say what the hell you want to say. Listen, it's time to be political. It's time to secure the bag. Man, these guys is stupid, man. For real.
Hi, Simon. Welcome, Simon. So what you think? What you think about this whole DaBaby thing? Or did you have a comment about something else? Because you was like, drop the link right now. I got something to say. No, you ain't say that. But
Simon gonna put on that dress. That's what Simon gonna do. Ain't you, Simon? You gonna put that dress on, ain't you, Simon?
Like,
tell the
what you
truth.
talking about, man? All right. Come on, Simon.
You gonna put that dress on.
Thanks, Breezy. Peace to Tawana. I ain't playing that shit. The music industry is a rabbit hole, right? And what we've lived through, in our day and age, is kind of different to what the youngers are living through now. So you have to sort of see that as a baseline. It's not that straightforward because, for example, I don't know if you know, or in terms of if you wanted to get into the music industry, a lot of people were like, realistically, they were like, I just want to get signed. At that point, they didn't really know shit. They didn't know record contracts. They didn't read shit. There wasn't the information age. There wasn't Google. Like we have access to so much now that we didn't have then. So I mean, I say this because I've experienced it, because I had a record label, and like people come and I would have all these words lined up. And they would sign that shit. It would be like quick shit fire. And it would be like, oh yeah, I just want to get in a music video. It's like, you don't know what the fuck you're doing. You get what I'm saying?
They just sign their life away. Don't even know it.
Don't even know it. And like people give people grief, like Puff, like, and all that shit, in terms of, oh yeah, you signed lots. The whole radio interview about, and the locks were like, oh yeah, Puffy signed me, blah, blah, blah. It's like, for fuck's sake, you didn't realize what the fuck you were doing. For real.
Because he didn't really make no money, right? Like the whole history was that Puffy kind of took a lot of money from them. The deal was bad, right? I mean, essentially.
Tawana, if you don't have leverage in the music business, the deal is always bad.
Yeah.
Okay? It's about leverage. If you don't have leverage, if they don't need you, if they just want you, then the deal most likely sucks.
Yeah, you're gonna lose. You're gonna lose, right? Because the idea is to get put out there and to have somebody backing you. That's a bigger machine. So you can be famous, and then they feel like they'll be able to come to the table with more negotiation.
Right.
But it doesn't typically work that way.
Yeah.
Once you get in a bad deal, you stay in a bad deal, and then you just kind of have in this cycle of bankruptcy and bad money management types of situations.
Yeah, but you gotta think about it from the other perspective, though. Like,
go ahead. Go ahead.
You're the record label.
Right. So I'm doing good deals.
No. It's not necessarily in terms of business. Terms of business, it's not a bad thing.
Right.
Business is business. Business is business. If I'm putting in $1 million into you, if I'm investing all of my resources into you, then all you're bringing to the table is your guitar and your notebook. And of course, at the end of the day, when the money starts rolling in, I'm the first one with my hand in the pot. Now, when you recoup whatever it is that you recoup based on whatever deal that we have, then that's what you have.
Yeah.
But you know, a lot of things. It's a very complex
Another
situation,
another
though.
another thing in the music business, if it's your first deal, you shouldn't really be looking to make a lot of money anyway. Your main goal should be to be branded properly and to be marketed properly to get to so these people can make you a household name.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? It's not your first deal. You're not gonna make a lot of money your first deal. Now they're gonna make you look like you got a lot of money. When they used to have MTV crib stuff, they're gonna rent you cars, rent you jewelry, they're gonna rent you houses and everything. But
Get your little chain, the gold chain if you're a rapper.
they gonna rent everything rented. Let me tell you something. I've been in the music industry for a long time. I know Haran is pretty he's pretty familiar with it too. But
Yeah.
it's all smoke and mirrors. But
Right.
sometimes, and I've told artists this, sometimes it's okay to take the bad deal monetarily as long as you read the contract to the point where you know you're not signing your life away. Okay, for me, for instance,
You give it
if
like a
I
couple
was a
years. You saying
huh?
just give a couple years.
If it
and
was a
don't,
couple years,
don't give them
and
like 10 years of your life. I know.
right, that's where you're getting effed with the broomstick up
Right.
the a hole. So what I'm saying,
Wait, Simon. I want you to respond because Simon's like, no. But go ahead, Simon.
what what I'm what I'm
Oh,
s-
go
what
ahead,
I'm
please.
saying is, if you can make it through those couple of years, like you said, Tawana, but now everybody knows you and you can renegotiate for millions of dollars,
Okay.
you've won.
I see your point.
You
Simon, what you
won.
saying? What you saying,
Yeah.
Simon? Because he's like, no. Go. What you saying, Simon?
I'm just saying, like, come on, like, you gotta know what you're doing. Like, you got like, why do people turn around and go into education, get PhDs and all this sort of stuff? Because they want to be knowledgeable about what they're doing. Problem is like people walk into the music industry or entertainment industry like they know what they're doing, and it's the same effect. This whole thing, like when we talk about women, and this, that, the other, yeah, they got their qualification, but they don't know how to get into a marriage. It's the same thing with men when they do this whole tough guy stuff. They do the same thing. It's like, oh yeah, I want to get into the music industry. I know what I'm doing. It's like it's the same effect, and they walk into it and they can't read or write for the right standards of what it is.
That's true. That's a great point.
And then they sort of complain about it after, and it's the same thing. So the comparison that I'm making is that
Right.
like
Well, those are the guys that's signing their life away. They signing for 10 years. They have to fulfill like 15 albums
Well,
before they can.
Let me say this because the baby really he got his record deal after this whole incident where he murked someone in Walmart. He literally got a deal with a huge record label right after that.
Well,
And
if you
so
know his history, he
it's
got his
kinda-
deal because he went viral from.
He went viral on YouTube, right?
Well, he went viral from wearing a diaper. At he wore
I
a
didn't know that. I
diaper
thought it was
at
for his rap career.
no, he wore a diaper on I want to say it was like some big interview radio show. He wore a diaper on the radio show and somebody videotaped it and they put it on YouTube and it went viral. That's when
So-
everybody started knowing about DaBaby.
So here's the thing too. The two men that he was fighting with were actually fans of his. They were trying to figure out if it was really DaBaby, right? Because he's in Walmart shopping. So they're like, is this DaBaby in Walmart? Like they were kind of following him around. And I think that what happened is DaBaby was like, who are these dudes following me around? Right? Like
Right.
he literally confronted them. And this is what Douglas, the other guy, it was Craig is the one who was murked. Douglas is the other guy. He's living, but he did also get hurt in the whole exchange. But this is his recount, right? Is that he was like actually a fan of, they both were fans of DaBaby, and they were actually shocked that DaBaby was there. And they were like, oh my God, like this is DaBaby in Walmart shopping, like shopping, and was like literally approaching him in that way. And
Right.
DaBaby was like, who are you dudes? Why y'all following me? And like literally got defensive initially, and they were thrown off because they were just trying to kind of like get his number, get his picture and, just like be fans. And then it ended up escalating because DaBaby instantly attacked the dude Douglas. And then from there, Craig he went for his pistol because he had a gun on him, and he went for it because he was like, oh my god, he's attacking my friend. Like, what am I gonna do? Am I gonna murk DaBaby? What am I gonna do? Right? So he went for it. And let me tell you, because I have my conceal and carry, right? One thing I learned: if you pull that gun out, you better murk.
What you got to be ready to do?
You gotta murk. If you even go for it, if you even act like you about to, you got to be ready to do what you do.
You got to be ready.
You got to be ready. So the fact that he hesitated because it was probably DaBaby, and he was like, man, I shouldn't do this, it cost him his life. Because literally, when you go when you go for it, you need to go for it. Just do what you got to do. That's what DaBaby did, right? Soon as he saw that he did it, DaBaby was like, oh no, like, I'm about to stand my ground and pull my, you know what I mean? So that's kind of how that whole exchange went down. And so while I understand the need to bring it up, the whole entire purpose of this is like, why can the media influence his future cases, right? Like, he's already been investigated, found to be acted in self-defense. It's over. Now they want to bring up a case, right? He's already served his justice. I understand that he got a history of being, what he do, right? But objectively looking at it, it's like, why is this even a conversation? Because this was something that he was exonerated of. He was found guilty of possession of a firearm without a conceal and carry license, right? Or he didn't have a FOI card. He didn't have nothing. He really should not have had a firearm, but he did. And so this whole situation, even though I think that DaBaby is violent, I think that he has a history of violence. I think that there are many other instances that need to be noted. I think that he puts a bad perception on Black men in general. And I think that it's unfortunate because that is how the media looks at us as racialized group. They racialize us based on the behaviors of certain individuals. And so even if I know that there's men out there that's nothing like him, when people see them, they look at you guys and they automatically assign his behavior to a collective group of Black men. Like, oh, this is how Black men act. They aggressively crazy and they just gonna shoot each other over nothing. Like, this is how they think about us. I don't know how y'all feel about that. But I want y'all to respond to that. But clicks and views, Simon, you said something about women. You did say something about women. I think you were bringing up a point about how we're not marriage material, but you kind of was bringing up a point how this whole conversation about how we're not marriage material, but we are trying to get married, I guess. And you were correlating that with this conversation of the music industry and how they can't read the contracts, but they still signing the deals. So clicks and views is kind of like, wait up, what you trying to say about Black women? What are you saying about women, not Black women, but women in general, about us not being marriage material or not ready for marriage? I guess you said that comment. I don't even know if you meant to focus on that or if you was just bringing it up in comparison. But go ahead and explain it. She said, right. Explain that, sir. Explain.
Firstly, I just want to say I really love the way you put yourself across as a Black woman. I mean, it's really cool. I don't like on a global scale, because obviously I'm not from the US, so I see a lot of Black women across the pond, and there are few and far between that can demonstrate themselves in a way where they show us that there's hope for Black women, right? So
thank you.
that's the thing.
Thank you.
There's no sort of it's really a thing of what we see over here is a portrayal of what goes on over there. They imitate you. So when you go out and you do your thing, it's like nothing because you have to live your own life, right? Um, but your actions and everything is it's a real interpretation. Like we live that as black men, right? We have black women over here, uh, be it on a small scale in comparison to America, um, comparing themselves to black women in America, and we live that in terms of our domestic life. So when they walk through the door, when they do the whole thing, the whole lifestyle, they watch the whole programs, they try to be you. And I think that is really underestimated in a big way in terms of, and it's not your responsibility, but I'm just saying it's really underestimated. Because I spent 10 years with a woman who has the same type of dress that you have, the same type of lifestyle that you have. She does the same shit that you do. She watches the same programs that you probably watch. 10 years, right? And she's not even in your jurisdiction, and she probably doesn't feel your problems. And it's the same with men. And like when I speak to black men from America, they really have some sort of disconnect. It's like, but how come that we're feeling the same sort of thing? Like we're trying to sort of understand the same issues. So it's not really like, just to come back to what you were saying in terms of, it's not an issue. It's just more so the fact that there's the connection in terms of communication and understanding is far and few between. And that's why I'm up on here, because I would really like to see something happen, because it hasn't happened before.
I hear what you say. Hey, on the block with Jen.
What's
hey,
up, Jen?
Hey, Simon, can I ask you a question?
Yes, go ahead, Haran.
So what you were saying, I just want to make sure that I'm understanding what you're saying.
Yeah,
You're saying
Salmon
that the
said a lot of
media,
shit.
are you saying that the media has influenced your perception of black men and black women in America?
And we also influence their women too. So he mad at us for two things. No.
Tawana's crazy.
Go ahead, Simon. I'm paraphrasing. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I've been a bit busy with COVID, but no,
Clicks and views said you deflected. She said you deflected. That's all. I just want to put that out there.
I worked in media, right, for a huge portion of my life, right, and I will tell you, walk into any media space and find a black person, right? Do that. Then you will understand what you're dealing with. Because when you turn around and switch on your TV or any other sort of media or medium, as they call it, right? The things that you're seeing are being dictated from people that are not from our kin like. Right?
So you're saying there are people holding strings?
I'm saying that
you're not really answering the question.
Well, be a bit more direct. Maybe I can answer.
No, I thought I was. I was saying, are you saying that, the media has influenced your thinking in regards to black men and black women?
Not my thinking.
In America.
Not in my thinking, not at all.
Okay, well then hold that thought right there. Right. Now let's rewind to what you said previously about black women.
Right.
And their, I guess, they're not being marriage material. Not being marriage material. Mm-hmm. That came out very, very fluid.
Yeah.
So I would is one would you be comfortable with saying that that is a part of your perception?
Yeah.
And if so, where does that perception come from?
Facts.
Okay, tell me the
So-
facts that are presented that makes you feel that Black women are not marriage material. Or is it just women in general or Black women?
No. It's not women in general, and
It's
it's
just
not
Black women. Okay.
Well, there is a thing about Black women, but it can sort of spill onto other races. Okay, and I'm not saying this is
No, but speak specifically to Black women and why we're not marriage material. I would love to hear that.
right. I'll tell you.
I want to hear your facts.
Right. Okay, I'm telling you from my own experience. Okay, I've got five.
It's time for liftoff, y'all.
I've got 5 sisters. I've got 5 sisters.
Damn, Simon.
Also, we about to go anecdotal because
Right.
I said facts, not your damn sisters.
Right.
and
Okay,
all
all right.
your
Okay,
experience.
all right.
But go ahead. You
And
can talk about your
anecdotal.
sisters, but go ahead.
We all know the facts about what Kevin Samuels speaks in terms
Oh,
of
Jesus.
if you want to go to some sort of website that will actually tell you the specific facts, you will know that, right? I don't want to be boring like that in terms of what we know because we're all well versed in the fact of
You talking about Kevin Samuels talking points? Okay,
no. I'm saying like we're all well versed in that, right?
right. Okay, go ahead.
We're
Yeah.
veterans in that.
I
right?
am, but I don't know
One-
about everybody else in the world.
Okay,
but yeah,
so-
I am. Yeah.
No, it's all over the world. 1 in 4. 1 in 4. Right? So why are Black women not married?
Okay.
Right? Why what and it boils down to a specific age as well. It's like why are they not married? Why are they choosing to not get married and not understand the value in marriage? You know, the reason is because they are versed in being independent. And that's that you know, I've no sort of qualms with anything.
You
Like,
think they're choosing not to get married?
Yeah, of course. Are you married?
Yes, sir.
Right. How long have you been married for?
Does that matter?
Yeah, it matters a
I
lot.
don't know why it matters though. Why
Well,
does it
okay,
matter?
let's
You just thought I was gonna say I wasn't married. That was.
No, I didn't say that. The
You
fact
thought I was gonna
is
say that.
no, I didn't say anything. What the fact
Okay,
is
good.
there's not a lot of Black men that could turn around and say I'm married, okay? And that's just a fact. You know, if you've had that experience, I'm granted to like I was married for 10 years and I appreciate it. So I learned a lot about being married to a Black woman. So at the end of the day, I appreciate that. I'm not walking into another relationship in the same sort of state of mind and say like, oh, I'm gonna go and date and be sort of like blasé about it. Next move for me, if you're not marrying me, don't talk to me. Like we need to have some sort of conversation
All
about
right, so
how we're gonna
wait
get
1 minute.
married.
Wait 1 minute. So who controls marriage? Because you said Black women are not married. As if we can just go out and get married by ourselves. So who
You
controls
said they don't want to get married. I'm
right? So
confused
who
now.
controls marriage? Tell
Who
me
controls
that. Yeah, who
marriage?
controls it? Who controls access to marriage, or who controls
Men.
men? Okay, so if men control marriage, why do you think that women are to blame for the reason why we're not married?
I didn't say they are to blame. I just think there's a thought process out there, especially amongst women, when they have conversations with other women about what marriage is. Because most women don't know what marriage is because they're not married, or they don't know what it is to be in a long-term relationship. They have a very skewed view about what that is. You speak to most women, okay? I don't know how many friends you have in your circle, right? How many of them are married or have been in long-term relationships and can understand what that actually is? You know, they talk. Women are very good at talking. Good, nice, we like it, great. You know, have a cake, right? Have a lunch, dinner. Do you know what I mean? But at the end of the day,
So what is your idea of marriage, and what is it that you think women don't understand about marriage? Before you continue with this conversation, what is your idea, or what is it that women are supposedly not knowing about
break
marriage?
it down. Bring it on home, Simon.
Dude, get a baseball bat and practice. Like, I ain't doing that. Look, it's like at the end of the day, right? What I'm saying, I'm speaking to Tawana right now, right? It's like you know marriage when you're in marriage, and it's cooperation, right?
Okay.
And sometimes like it's not what it is as like what. Okay, I'm gonna go rewind. Okay, people grow up having this sort of stupid ideal about relationships, like it's some toy thing, and we grow up understanding things because we're shielded in a certain way because we're parented, right? But when you start dealing with a complete stranger that you do not know, you walk into their house and they start talking to you about how the household should work, you can have a backlash to that. And you go, oh, no, I don't need to deal with this. Like, but the fact of the matter is that you need to cooperate with somebody, right? And that's how we work in life. So when you're going into marriage, that's a lifetime commitment. And to actually turn around and to dedicate yourself to somebody, that's a hard thing to do. That's a real hard thing to do. You got to take everything and strip yourself right back down.
You're not answering the question. We don't need the philosophical word salad.
Really not.
You made a categorical statement that black women aren't marriage material. So lay out the criteria of what makes black women non-marriage material. Lay it out. And what I want to know is,
yes,
go ahead.
I was waiting for that. I was waiting for him to actually get to that part. Like I've heard nothing but
Ron, you've been waiting for a long damn time.
Like I'm just waiting for him to get to the point because
I wanted to hear the fact.
Tawana.
Yeah.
Tawana, this is what I want to hear. Okay, so for him to make that statement, are you saying, because I just want to have a clear understanding, are you saying that black men are more so marriage material? And if so, explain why, black women aren't. You just said that they're because they're more independent. It's very vague. They're taught to be independent. That's a very vague explanation. You know what I mean? It has to be a lot deeper than that, you know. But I would just really love to understand.
Nobody else, no other women, he's saying no other race of women have been taught to be independent. That is something that black women specifically, we own this idea of being independent because no other race of women want to take care of themselves, be adults, and be sustainable individuals. We're the only ones in this.
Where does he think feminism came from? What he think that originated with black women?
I'm not going to be on here long, but I just want to speak to something. And this is the hypocrisy that black men are able to speak with in this day and time. How do you expect these sisters to be marriage material when your black asses have not been marrying them? Explain that. See, what it is these brothers tend to think that they're entitled to some group of women who are marriage material when you haven't put any effort into cultivating those types of women. Black men, through their behavior and through the cultural dominant narratives, have made it very abundant what they wanted. Where do we think thought culture came from? With Uncle Luke and 2 Live Crew and Shake Your Rump Maker and I Like Big Butts and I Cannot Lie. You see what I'm saying? If I don't hit the first night, I ain't gonna call it. So it's supply and demand. So black men made it very abundant where their heart was and where their treasure was. And this is part of the reason why you have the situation you have today. And then when you say that black women aren't marriage material, explain someone like my wife, who I've been married to for 22 years. Explain that. See, everybody want to be the next goddamn Kevin Samuels. You see what I'm saying? But Kevin Samuels' arm's not long enough to box with me on the topics that he talk about because I don't just get on here and talk it, I walk it. You see what I'm saying? This is the problem. You got too many people up here speaking on issues and stuff that they simply aren't qualified to speak on. Don't come here telling me what Kevin Samuels wants for black people when he don't even have it for himself. No, the work of a physician is to heal yourself first. Don't come sitting here talking this philosophical bullshit. You see what I'm saying? Thinking you kicking knowledge because I know better. You see what I'm saying? The bottom line is, I'm about to bring it home. The bottom line is, and this is why the sisters have the attitude they have. If you go and look at the data, the fact of the matter is that marriage it doesn't provide the same incentives for other groups of women that it does for black women. That's what everybody wants to ignore. The bottom line is, if sisters get married, they're going to have to fulfill both roles. So what it is, a lot of these guys want half a man and a whole wife. No, if you want these women to be traditional in a non-traditional time, when you don't have it like that. So you want these women to work. You want them to go out there and contend in the world, fight in the world of men. Then you want them to come home and simply to cater to your goddamn ego. You want them to be domestic too. No, it don't work like that. If you ain't willing to make the sacrifices to put your wife in a situation where she can be domestic and be at home and be in her domain and in her throne, shut your mouth. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of this anti-black rhetoric coming from
hold on 1 minute, because Simon's been trying to chime in. Go ahead, Simon. I want you to respond.
Ahead.
This guy is hype, man. Like, this guy is so hype. Like,
don't deflect, Simon. Just respond to what I want to because I feel like
he told you how long he been married, Simon. So come on now.
We get caught up. We get caught up on people's tone and stuff like that.
I was in a 10-year marriage, and I still get on with my ex-wife. And
Simon said he been married too.
I've been married for 10 years, and I still get on with my ex-wife. And to be fair, we're still trying to work stuff out. We might remarry. Like,
who asked for the divorce? Who filed for the divorce?
I filed for the divorce.
Why did you do that?
Because she was acting a bit crazy.
Wait, now hold on for a second. What if you would not mind me asking? Can you please be a bit more specific?
Look, postpartum depression is a real thing, and sometimes you just can't live with it, right?
Wait.
Damn, you left your wife hanging?
You left her when she was going through postpartum?
Damn, Simon.
You divorced your woman because she was going through postpartum
Simon, you
depression?
done effed up, dog. Damn.
So you got kids too? She just had your kid.
You're not listening.
You dropped her?
You're not listening.
Okay, let's give him a chance.
Go ahead, Simon, because
the matter is,
yes.
Yeah, you're about to wrap up. Sorry.
Go ahead, Simon.
The fact of the matter is you need to sort of deal with things in a certain way, and certain people don't understand certain things because they ain't gone through certain things, right? I'm still rocking with my ex-wife. I'm there every day. She don't miss a point, and I don't miss a point. And it's not a matter of, oh, we divorced. And people see it like that. That's fine. But the fact of the matter is the clarification is, the point is the child. Like, our child means everything to us. So I've got to make that work, right? And because of the fact that everything's new, you need to sometimes clarify a mental health issue in other people's minds that support systems don't allow you to. It's like there's no support for people with mental health issues. There's no support for women with postpartum depression. There's no support when you go through a pregnancy and you nearly die.
Where you're from, you couldn't find support, or
there's no support. No, nothing.
There
Well,
is
you could have been the support.
He's saying he's still with his ex-wife, like they're still close and all that stuff. Okay, that's what you said, Simon, right?
No, because he talked about facts, and the fact is that you divorced her. The fact is you created a separate home, and that you you can't be this loving, doting husband when you're no longer married. So, like, let's talk about the real facts, okay? You're divorced, so stick with that. That is, you separated the family, regardless of this.
No, but Tawana, my question was
co-parenting situation that he said he created, trying to make it sound like it's so great and wonderful.
No, but Tawana, that's my question. My question was, if they're still so close, if you're still close with your ex-wife, why would you divorce her?
Right.
I'm saying I don't understand that.
It sounds extreme because that's what's put out there on these streets. It's like, oh, you'll get.
No, you put it out there. You
said it, dog.
I say what I say, but I'm saying it sounds extreme. But it's not necessarily like that. You don't get to see the whole story. When you see these celebrities, what's that thing that you pulled up?
You mean divorce sounds extreme? You saying that the divorce sounds extreme, but you're still acting cohesively as a family, so it didn't do anything negative to your family? Is that what you're saying?
And work with people. If like Tawan, look, if we was in a marriage and you was going through some crazy stuff and you didn't really know what you was doing, right? I've still got to work with you. It doesn't matter. Like, you could pull up on the streams and like behave like whatever you want to behave like. But at the end of the day, it's like I've still got to work with you. Like, we have children. Like,
I'm sorry, bro. It sounds like you ran away from pressure, bro. It was too much pressure, and you just ran away, bro.
That's exactly
and I don't think but I don't think that you get to tell Black women that they're not marriage material based on your experience with your woman when you seem to lack husband qualities yourself.
You're blaming her. You're blaming her for having postpartum.
Yeah, like you are not.
I ain't blaming anybody.
You didn't blame her, but you seemingly couldn't
navigate
through your marriage.
That was one of his.
I didn't leave for anything. I said I filed for divorce. I didn't say I left.
Somebody asked you, why did you divorce her? And you said she was crazy. That's what you said, bro. And then Haran asked you to elaborate.
No, I said she was acting crazy. I didn't say
okay, but what I'm saying, bro, that's not a good reason, bro.
That's the same thing.
No, wait a sec. Look, if someone's turning around and doing certain things, let's say, okay, Breezy, right?
She tried to kill you. I'm sorry, Murky.
Yeah. Right. So Breezy.
She tried to murk him or the child. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, just we asking. You got to get some detail because you just all over the place.
No.
Okay, so he says she tried to.
I'm doing one step at a time because Tawana, I'm saying like I could come back on and we could do a part 2. I don't do this like part 1 all inclusive.
Okay. And you know what, though, Simon, because I do have another point that I want to bring up. So I don't want to talk about your marriage for too much longer. I want you to get out whatever your final statement is about this. But then I do want to move on to the next topic because I do have another issue in media that I want to bring to light. But this is another issue too, is that Black women are perceived to be not marriage material when the statistics actually show something different. That's why I was hoping you was going to talk about statistics and talk about that, because statistics don't show that we're not marriage material. I don't know why you say that. That's why I'm trying to figure out what you mean.
He said y'all don't want to get married. That's what he said.
We don't want to get married, but you know that's not true either. That's not true either.
I don't think that and yes, it's controversial.
Right, it's controversial.
And it's not like a personal thing. I just think it's not that they don't want to get married. It's like I was married, right? But the woman that I got married to, she didn't understand what marriage was. That's the problem.
And you did?
So say what, bro?
I said, and you did?
Of course, because I love.
Wait. If the vows that I don't know if you guys say the same vows in London when you get married. One of the vows that we have in
come on, we're Christian
in America.
Stop playing. Stop playing.
If one of the vows is in sickness and in health. Is in sickness and in health. Essentially, when the person is down bad, you are supposed to be 10 toes down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, she was in the most vulnerable state of her life. The most vulnerable state of her life. No, wait a minute. You could have. That divorce could have led to her suicide. Excuse me. Excuse me for saying that. That divorce could have led to her deleting herself. She could have been.
Why would that happen?
Well, in all due fairness, because Tawana got to move on to the next topic. Let's give him a chance to just to be fair with him. We don't know his full situation. Go ahead, Simon, because I want to hear. I don't want to prejudge your situation, bro.
I don't understand what that guy just said because
go ahead.
He just went on to suicide. Like, I don't get that. Like, you got to give women grace, okay? You got to give people grace. You can't sort of go, oh, this person's so like insecure that they don't know what they're doing. Like, women know what they're doing, okay? They are smart people. Like they are humans. You know, this whole
Man, you ain't saying shit, man. You ain't saying shit right now, dog.
Yeah, but you're
ain't saying shit, bro. We asking you why did you divorce your wife? You giving poems and shit, bro. We don't care about that, all this stuff. We just want to know.
But we only have a small segment. We just really want to know a direct answer.
Yeah, come on, Simon.
You made a lot of accusations.
You keep flipping.
No, you made a lot of accusations about Black women and not being married.
Right. Okay. Look, Tawana, Breeze is asking me a question. You asked me a different question.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So one at a time, please.
Okay.
You said she tried to murk you, right? You said let me take control. You said she tried to murk you, bro. She tried to murk you, bro.
Yeah. Did she try to murk you?
Okay. Did she cheat on you?
You can't say the K word. Did she try to hurt you?
Did she try to delete you, bro?
Did she try to delete you?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you feel like your life and her it had got so toxic to where it could be fatal?
Yeah.
Okay, I understand now. I understand, bro.
Okay.
That's all you had to say.
Thank you for giving us the clarity. Let's move on to the next topic because I do not want to make light of that situation. But I
right. Exactly.
I don't want you to, and we're gonna talk about actually DV.
But before you move on, I do want to say if I was in your situation and I know she's suffering mentally and that was the reason why she possibly attacked me, okay, that's a different narrative, and I probably wouldn't have divorced her. I probably would have sought help for her, and but everybody to each his own. I get it. I'm not coming at you, blah blah blah. Haran brought up a good point. I think Clicks and Views said it first in the chat. Through sickness and in health. If she was sincerely sick, we gotta look at it from different aspects. But I just want to say on behalf of the whole panel, we don't want to disrespect your situation with your wife. You said you're still close with her, and hey, more power to you, bro.
Listen, you can do what the hell you want. Like I don't care, like, because at the end of the day, like I'm the one that.
Man, I just gave this classical soliloquy, and you talking about.
I don't care, like.
Well, damn it, then,
here's
Simon.
The thing, Simon. This is the thing that because of your one bad experience,
it's not a bad experience. This is what you don't understand. It's not a bad experience.
But you're also ascribing to that all Black women.
No,
marriage material.
No. That's a different connection. That's a different conversation.
Okay. So let's go on to the next topic because I think that we're gonna have time to talk about domestic violence and men and how men are treated, in that realm. But let's talk about Viola Davis now. I don't know if y'all kind of know about this whole thing with Viola Davis, but let me share my screen. Actually, let me add her. Hold on. Let me see if I can. So here's a depiction of Viola Davis in a show called The First Lady. And the show is basically about it's putting an emphasis on all of the first ladies, right? Because we always hear about the presidents, I guess. So this show wanted to highlight the women. And so this is Viola Davis, and in this depiction, she is playing Michelle Obama. Okay, and people really had a lot of backlash for Viola Davis because if you can kind of tell in this one, I don't know if y'all can tell in this one, but she kind of perking her lips like the duck lip.
Attitude.
So she had an attitude. So people was kind of like, no, not my first lady. Why are you representing her in this way? Because Michelle Obama always presents with class, always presents with ease. She dressed nice. She's beautiful. She seems like a calm spirited person. But when you see this depiction of her, she seems to be like this woman with an attitude, right? And Haran, that article that you shared with me, it kind of talked about that archetype, right? Of Black, like the Black woman, the Black angry woman, how it's always depicted in these shows. And that's an example of how we're seen in the media as like the Black angry woman. And so a lot of people were really upset with Viola's depiction of Michelle Obama. And here's another one, right? She seemed to always have her little lips perked in all of the videos. And then it was a video, and let me play it. I cannot actually show you guys the video because I think that it will give me a copyright strike. But just, I'm gonna ask you guys if you can hear it. Hold on. Can y'all hear it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm gonna play this. It's an 18-second clip. It's a really short clip, but it's a clip of Viola Davis in this actual show. And in this scene, she's talking to Barack Obama, right? She's talking to him. And this is her in the scene, right? In this white right here. And she's really upset in this scene because the Secret Service is at their home with guns in front of her kids, and it really freaked her out. And she's like, why is the Secret Service outside of our home, right? And Barack, he didn't necessarily tell her that they were having threats against them. This is early into when he was running for office. And you remember he had a lot of threats against him. And so she's responding to seeing them in her home and these threats. So let me let y'all hear the clip.
Really? John Edwards have Secret Service? What about John McCain, Mitt Romney? Probably not. Yeah. You know why? You're a coon. You're a nigger. Running for president of the United States? Really?
So people,
you know, ironically, when you hear it, it doesn't sound as bad. Like if you just heard it, you're like, wow, she's really killing it. And then, but when you see it and she's performing like that, it's like, well, wait, this doesn't. She the way she performed it, she just created a caricature of her, her personality, her essence. And I understand she was trying to, I don't know, maybe she was trying to tap into something and really grab her, mannerisms and so on. Because Michelle kind of does that lip thing, but it's not this overpronounced thing like something smells in the room. It's just I guess an idiosyncrasy.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
So, but did you hear her and the way she was speaking to Barack, right? People are really shocked at that scene because it was the opposite of what we know Michelle to be, right?
Yeah.
This classy woman, right? She's talking about he a coon, he's a nigga. Like she's talking to Barack. I mean, that she's not calling him those names. She's saying, and somebody got an echo. Turn your YouTube down, please, or mute it. Yes, somebody, I don't know if it's you, Simon. Turn your YouTube down. She's basically saying that like you are pretty much performing for them, like they are, and this is what's happening. And so now our family is becoming a target, right? Because you're in the media, you want to run for office. Because she wasn't really on board with it. She really wasn't in support of him in the beginning, right? Or at least that's what the show kind of depicts. But it was a lot of backlash in the way Viola portrayed Michelle. And even in that scene, if y'all go back and watch it, somebody please mute. I don't know. Somebody, y'all got to turn y'all YouTube down because I can hear a lot of Don't turn it on. I'm sorry, Simon. I'm not trying to blame you. I didn't know who you was. Simon, you said what I'm blaming him. No, I wasn't blaming you. But yes, the actual scene. If you look at it, Viola was really perking her lips up. And she was really trying to, I don't know, embody Michelle. And people didn't appreciate that depiction of her because me personally, I've never seen her with her lips perked up like that to that degree or that exaggerated where I thought it needed to be emphasized. And I think that some things are necessary because some things do show that it is that individual, right? Like if somebody was reenacting me, they probably would use their hands, and I wouldn't be irritated by that because I do talk with my hands, right? So I would know like, okay, that's instantly something that Tawana does.
Right.
But instantly when I saw the perked lips, I was like, Michelle don't even do that. Like I don't ever see her like First of all, her lips are really thin. They're not as big as Viola's lips. They're not as full. I'm not saying big, full as Viola. Viola has full lips. Michelle's lips are really small. So I'm like, when I've never ever seen her be exaggerated like that. So I'm just asking you guys perception of this whole thing and how Viola how the perception or how she depicted Michelle, do you all have any thoughts on it?
You want to go first, Rizzy?
I actually seen this. I seen the footage, the real scene, and when I seen it, Barack seemed very he seemed like a pushover, and she seemed like she called all the shots and she ran the house, and he seemed like he was in trouble from with his wife. And when I seen it, I was like, well, okay, I've never seen that type of
dynamic with them,
with their family or with their marriage out in the open on camera, exposed like that. But I was like, okay, is this some inside information she actually, because I know a lot of actors do work with the person that they're portraying behind the scenes sometimes, and they're getting information that the public doesn't know about. So is this something that that was shared to her by Michelle that we don't know that actually happened or whatever? But I've never seen Michelle do her lips like that, like you said, ever before, and I've never seen that face that Viola is making. It doesn't even look like Michelle Obama. You understand what I'm saying? And my question to you, Tawana, is, was she just getting most of the backlash from black women, or was it all women, across the globe? I mean, across the nation or whatnot?
She got tons of criticism, mostly for African American women or black women. It was ridiculous. Like, the criticism was overwhelming, even to me. Like, I do get that I had some problems with the way she was depicted in some scenes, but I also realized that it was the directors who was encouraging that behavior, and it was like everyone. It wasn't just Viola, right? Viola could have stood up and said, no, I'm not going to do that. However, it was a combination of people who kind of wanted her to perk her lips up and make those faces and do those things, and I think that it's a problem in general. But I do want to talk about her response to the backlash, but I also want to get everybody's opinion first before I talk about what Viola said, and then that's kind of going to bring us to our next point. But go ahead, Haran, what do you think about that whole interaction?
Well, I mean, I wasn't too shocked by it. I mean, and I'll explain why. Barack, I mean, he's always struck me as a person who would rather rather go along just to get along, and that's his natural response to things. Not saying that he's a complete pushover, not saying that he's weak or whatever, but he's just always had that kind of personality, which has helped him. I mean, it helped him actually gain the presidency. I mean, if he was full on Malcolm X, he wouldn't have made it out of the primaries. I mean, let's just keep it real. Now, in terms of Michelle, and if she's being depicted as the angry black woman or whatever it is, we have to really look into that trope, and really not perceive that from such a surface level. I'll say what it is. I mean, this has been what it is since slavery. Black women aren't allowed the luxury of femininity in this country, in this world, and what I mean. They're not allowed the luxury of innocence in this world. That is delegated to white women. White women and white children are allowed to be innocent. They're allowed to be, what I mean. White girls are allowed to be feminine, and so on and so forth. So, oh yeah, you should take the time out to ask your ex-wife that. Anyway, because I'm pretty sure she was looking for a man when she was, being in the most feminine moment of her life. So you just ease back for a second, sir. But anyway, going further, what I'm saying is that in many ways, that reality, of course, if you look at it, just empathize with their situation for a second, that reality, of course, is going to cause some sort of resentment. It's going to cause anger. It's going to cause passion because there's feelings of unfairness attached to so much. There's feelings of unfairness attached to, you know what I mean, a lot of the privilege and a lot of the things that white women are allowed to, you know, experience. But anyway, that's a big, you know what I mean, topic within itself. I'll discuss it even further, you know what I mean, you know, along the broadcast.
What do you think, Simon, about that whole interaction? But actually, I do want to disagree with one thing Haran said, because I don't agree with this whole idea that Black women can't be feminine, because I think that's what problematic Black men want us to think about Black women, and I think that's what the world kind of pushes on, this idea of like mainstream femininity to Black women. And we're the only group who tend to kind of connect with the mainstream ideals of femininity, because if you look at the Asian community or Latina community, they have their own definitions of femininity and how that represents their women. And it seems like in our community, we tend to connect with this idea that what white America has defined as femininity somehow translates to how Black women should behave, how we should think, how we should be. And Black women have been feminine even in slavery. Like, we've been feminine. We've had to cook. We've had to be nurturers. We've had to be caregivers. We had to pretty much be the mothers, the counselors, but we also had to tap into taking care of ourselves, defending ourselves, being able to support our men and be like side by side with them, and do all these other things. That doesn't make us less feminine. It's really just our ideas of femininity are connected to Marilyn Monroe and being like this damsel in distress. And we literally assign those characteristics to Black women. And when she doesn't fit those criterias, we automatically say she's not feminine. And even when I hear men's definitions of femininity, I'm always like, okay, those definitions are really just what you guys have seen in the media and assume is feminine behavior. But if you've even listened to white women, Asian women, they talk about how they won't do some of the things that even Black men try to say that Black women don't do. Like, they always say, like, they always vocal and say, like, don't come over here thinking we gonna do that. And so I just really challenge this whole idea that Black women are not feminine. Because
what have you been hearing that what have you been hearing, or what have you heard that Black men expect out of Black women as far as being feminine? What are some of the things you've heard?
I just want to clarify one thing, you know what I mean, to what you just said. What I'm basically saying is, okay, for example, one of the things that and a number of Black women have said that they're tired of this, have expressed that they're tired of hearing this, the archetype of the strong, unbreakable Black woman. A lot of Black women are, and a lot of Black women come to me and they say, a lot of women of other races admire them. Oh, I admire you for your strength. I admire you for this. I admire you for that. Things that they wouldn't necessarily perceive as feminine, or so on and so forth. And this is one of the reasons why, this is what I was saying, to clarify. I'm not saying that, Black women shouldn't have their own concept and their own, ideas about femininity. What I'm saying is that on a mainstream level, on a global level, their perception of Black women is that they're not allowed this space to be feminine. Only white grace and purity is the example of femininity. And this goes again to what I'm saying about media perceptions and how they can be very damaging to people. And in the long run, this only affects the self-esteem of Black women and it also affects the self-esteem of Black men. Because I'll get into another explanation. You know what I mean? Further, further along in the broadcast. But I just don't want to take up too much time on my ideas.
Yeah, I agree. Thank you for clarifying, Simon. What you think about this whole Viola Davis depiction of Michelle Obama? Have you seen it?
Yeah, I saw it, but
yeah, what do you think? What's your
Michelle Obama is she's like an enigma, like and I don't know, like I was just listening to the guy before, and he makes a lot of sense. To be fair, there's this whole conversation, which is an ongoing conversation, which can last about 5, 10, 15 years.
Yeah, we got about 2 hours. So.
Yeah, exactly. So I might have to just sort of come back. I appreciate women because I know women. I don't think a lot of men know women. They need to take the time out to know women. That's a different thing. It's a completely different thing. Like, when men speak about women, it's just like their own experiences. That's fine. Okay, cool. But it's just like you have to take time out to understand the women.
So, do you have an opinion about Viola though, and that whole interaction? Do you have a reaction to how people perceive Viola, some of the backlash she received from depicting Michelle in this kind of ghetto? Because people said she looked ghetto. So do you think that was that's really the feedback, that people felt like she kind of made Michelle look like she was ghetto? And Michelle, is a distinguished woman, right? Someone that we don't necessarily see as ghetto. So what do you think?
I don't know. I come from media, so we can spin a line, and it's a matter of when someone spins a line, what thread do you hold on to? Are you gonna sort of go, okay, I rock with Michelle, or I rock with this one?
When someone spends a night with you, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, it's spinning.
So you're saying you're gonna pick the ghetto chick and not Michelle? Is that what you're saying? I'm confused. What are you saying?
Maybe. I mean, it's just maybe. Like, yeah, maybe. I look. There's some ghetto chicks out there that are genuine. I don't give a fuck. Like, at the end of the day, like,
Simon, are you sure your wife was the crazy one?
Listen, Mr. Push-Up. Mr. Push-Up over there, right? Don't do that.
He said Simon basically said if he have the option.
This motherfucker, he laughs like a supervillain. Like this.
I gotta mute you, Simon, because your laugh is really distracting me. So you're saying if you had the option between Michelle Obama and a ghetto chick, you're gonna choose the ghetto chick over her. I'm just don't understand why this is even part of the conversation.
Simon like that toxicity, man.
The conversation is literally about how Viola depicted Michelle, not about who your toxic ass would choose. You crazy, Simon.
Simon is the one that's crazy.
Something wrong with him. Like, for real. He said, I would choose the ghetto chick. She probably more fun, I guess. I'm assuming that's what you mean. So are you saying that Michelle's not really like that? I don't know what his point was. Do y'all get it, Karan?
He's saying he like crazy. Let's not try to break this stuff down too much, okay?
I was trying to make some sense of the comment because he said something. I'm like, did he have a point or did he not have a point? But
go
ahead.
Just let him talk, man. Just
bring it on home, Simon.
Simon, next time don't have a drink before you come on my show because you need to be coherent. You know what I mean?
I don't think that's alcohol.
I ain't even drinking. Like,
you don't drink. Okay.
Yeah, that ain't alcohol right there.
I don't know why you people think I'm drinking.
That's some other stuff.
You know, we the same kind of people as you. You know that, right?
Yeah, why are you bringing up this whole yeah, come on, like this is why I went on blast before. It's like at the end of the day, like
I'm giving you a hard time because you kind of not answering.
No, he giving us a hard time.
I like it. I like it. It's cool. That's cool.
All right, come on, Simon. That's great.
Just saying, like, I have grown up in a certain type of situation, right? So I appreciate that shit.
Okay.
There are people out there that listen to your stuff.
Yeah.
That you might not, because we're busy and stuff, right? You sort of lose track of that, right? People that don't have privileges. We're cool. We're okay. Right. We're in a relationship. You're in a marriage. You're comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
What I do is I reach out to the people that don't have that they don't have those privileges.
No.
And when what I like is when.
But Simon, what here's the thing. I just want you to answer my questions though. I don't want to talk about what you do and what your purpose is.
Okay, cool. Whatever.
Because everybody has a purpose in life. I mean,
all right, Tawana, bring it.
Not that I don't give a damn, but I kind of just want you to answer your question. Like when I get to the what's your purpose in life question, please elaborate.
All right, okay, cool.
Yeah, okay. So if you don't have a comment on Viola and Michelle, then let me move on to the actual comment that I wanted to make. Okay, so it says
Simon.
Go ahead.
Simon, I would just like to say one thing. Simon, I would just like to say those contracts that you gave your artists have been a doozy. Those contracts must have been a doozy, man.
It's the Avatar. Go home, please.
Okay, Simon. Let's be respectful. Okay, so here's the thing. Viola.
Yeah, Mike.
Okay, let me mute. So Viola actually responded.
Oh, that was me.
No, I know, but he's making
grumble
in the background. Viola responded to critics because she was just receiving so much backlash and people were just constantly going after her, attacking her. Every time they saw an episode, it was another World War III. The New World War was started. People were not letting her go with her depiction of Michelle. People really took it personally. So Viola responded, and this is what she said. She said, critics absolutely serve no purpose. I'm not saying that to be nasty either, she said. They always feel like they are telling you something that you don't know. Somehow that you're living a life that you're surrounded by people who lie to you. And I'm not going to be that person that leans in and tells you the truth. So it gives them an opportunity to be cruel to you. But ultimately, I feel like it is my job as a leader to make bold choices, she continued. Win or fail, it is my duty to do that. Okay, so that was her response. And so here is what I want to know. Are critics on social media, on media in general, are they cruel or are they just being honest? Like what do you guys think about some of the backlash, and even if it's not specifically about this Viola situation, right? This is just one thing.
Look, listen. I'll just speak to that particular situation. Like, look, she said, something about bold choices. Like, look, putting Skittles in potato salad is a bold choice. That don't mean it's gonna taste good, okay? You don't do it because it's not gonna taste good, most likely. You know what I mean? That particular performance, sticking out her mouth and behaving in a particular manner, it wasn't a good performance. Now she could have just went in there and did what Viola does, and everybody would have loved it. She didn't have to, mimic her mannerisms and so on and so forth. go in there and speak her truth. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be this over the top thing. You know what I mean? She'd have been fine. You know, she's an amazing actress. No one takes that away from her. She made a miscalculation. I don't know why somebody didn't pull to the side and be like, hey man, this ain't it. But I mean, she's playing at a certain level, so there was a lot of yes people around her, and you know, I'm pretty sure. But it just didn't work. That's the problem that I have, and this goes to so many facets of art. You know, what I mean, politics, entertainment. You can't say something's bad anymore now. Every effort has to be incredible. Every effort has to be great, and so on and so forth. It was a bad choice. It was a bad decision. You know what I mean? And you know what I mean? Sometimes the critics do get it right. Yeah, the movie sucked. You know what I mean? It is what it is. You know what I mean? So with that being said, sis, you're still an amazing actress. I'm sure the next movie that you have is going to be incredible, as it always is. You made a misstep. It happens.
All right, what you think, Freezy? What did you think about her? Oh, I'm sorry. I can't even hear you. You can't even hear me. I said, what do you think about her response, basically calling the critics out and saying that critics are just cruel?
Well, as far as her brand goes, it's not like she can just come out and say, yeah, I dropped the ball. You know, I don't feel like she can actually say that about herself, because she wants to protect her brand. But just like Haran said, sometimes the critics do get it right, you know. But I don't see her just coming out and agreeing with the critics and saying, yeah, it was terrible. Now, let me, you know, to play devil's advocate, I have heard actors and entertainers say, yeah, the movie I acted in, it was trash. I'm not gonna lie, it was trash. I've heard artists say, yeah, that song was trash. Their song was trash. Some artists are very transparent and they don't care about how they're perceived. They don't care, you know. But in Viola's case, she's an Oscar winner. She has a certain amount of prestige. She just feels like she has to uphold some type of stature. So she's going to give pushback, you know, and I can see her doing that. But as far as for your question, bring your question up again to are critics on social media cruel or honest? For the most part, let's just be honest. It's a lot of trolls out here, and we know that we're living in a climate where clout is currency. So most people, if they see somebody else with more clout than them, they're going to try to transfer that clout from you to them by trolling. Clout is currency in this present day climate, especially in these YouTube streets. So I can see it from both sides, but yeah, I mean, just like Haran said, he said it best when he said sometimes critics do get it right. Sometimes the people get it right. Okay. But everybody got eyes, everybody got ears. Now I will be fair and say this: I haven't looked at her series in totality, and before I can judge, I'm gonna give her a chance, and I'm gonna let you know, Tawana, personally, if I feel like she did a good job. But the clip that I seen, the way she was coming down on Barack, it kind of made me cringe. I was like, I was speaking to my screen and saying, "Come on, Barack, get some hair on your chest, bro. What you doing?" You know,
he did say something back though. I don't know if you saw that.
Exactly.
I don't know if you saw that, but he did respond and tell her like, it'd be nice if you just supported my dream.
Exactly.
I'm gonna do it anyway. I mean, he did respond. He didn't do it aggressive, angry, and crazy.
Right.
He responded. We don't know exactly what happened in real life.
And that's what I was gonna say.
So he responded.
And that's what I was gonna say. He did respond.
Yeah.
So that's when I was like, is this some are these private conversations that they are revealing on screen, that they're depicting on screen that we don't know? Because sometimes in movies and in series, things are shown to the public that we didn't know before.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So
right.
I was trying to play.
We be looking more into how their marriage truly is, because it was a lot of things exposed, right? Like you said, where we're like, was this a real account of conversations that actually took place, or was this a dramatization? Which
Exactly.
I'm sure it is both. There's an echo, Freezy.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah, it's I'm sure it's both, but I will say this. The series is a very good series. Just overall, just learning about the first ladies and how they and it's not just about Michelle. It's about all the first ladies. So they went back and they really just talked about their experience, and them being wives, them being mothers, just them being humans and stuff. And I thought it was actually a cool series. Besides the few scenes that they're really like honing in on, Viola actually, when she wasn't like perking her lips and acting crazy, and doing like depicting Michelle negatively, she did an amazing job. Like that's why everybody was like, those glimpses and those moments when she wasn't depicting Michelle that way, they were beautiful, right? It was like showing Michelle's human side, showing Michelle's humor, showing how she is as a mother. She's very nurturing, she's very caring, she's very thoughtful. In that particular scene, she was angry because Barack wasn't really telling her everything that was going on. So I understand why it depicted her a little bit, angrier, but for the most part, she's very easygoing in all of the other scenes. But there is some things that are kind of like questionable, like, oh, don't do that to Michelle, or we don't want to know that about Michelle, but you learn stuff about all the first ladies. So it's not so, without giving it away,
Yeah,
who want to go see it, you do learn secrets about all of them, or just how they really are behind the scenes.
yeah. That's just like New Edition. We didn't know that Ronnie Bell was the one addicted to cocaine,
Right.
like that. We thought Bobby Brown was the the drug addict, but
Right.
it turns out Ronnie Bell was the dope head. You know what I'm saying? So things are sometimes things can be revealed in
Clicks and
depictions
Views
that we
said
don't
that
know.
she said Will Smith played a terrible Muhammad Ali. So she so she said that, and she said now Jamie Foxx as Ray Charles was on point, and Denzel as Malcolm X was a classic, and she's not lying, because I think Denzel, like, I almost like confused Denzel with the real Malcolm X. Like that's how good I was like, okay, wait, you like at some point he just takes over the scene. You think that he's Malcolm X. It reminds me of Ike Turner, like Lawrence Fishburne.
Yes,
Yeah,
He played Ike Turner. I'm telling you, even when I see him
man. Listen,
in other roles, I always think about what's love got to do with it, and how he was telling her to eat the cake. I mean,
that's when you know they nailed the role, because they did it so good. You think that they really are the people.
like seriously,
you trying to help White? You trying to help White?
you trying to help Ike? I was like, that man is
You trying to
funny.
help White Turner?
He told her, he said, if you die, I'll kill you.
That's my favorite line.
I said, this fool he really crazy.
What's really
Really crazy.
shaky?
Yeah.
You know what was really shaky about his performance in that movie? Like at that age, that's exactly how my father looked. Lawrence Fishburne. Lawrence Fishburne at that age, like in that movie, he looked exactly like my dad.
He looked like
And it
your
was
dad.
he looked like my dad in that movie. And I'm like, damn, this is awkward to watch. It's so,
I'm watching my daddy on the screen. Now he don't act like your
yeah.
dad.
No.
He just look like your daddy. Okay.
No. He just looked like him. He just looked like him.
Yeah.
You know?
But I'm saying it's some depictions, like even when Tina did, I mean, even when Angela Bassett did Tina,
Oh yeah.
Malcolm X, Denzel doing Malcolm X, like she said, Jamie Foxx is Ray Charles. It's some like people where you connect those two and you're like, oh my God, that was so great. And unfortunately, Viola Davis, she won't have that same, connection.
Nah, I mean,
Right.
sometimes it's just best to just play the role, do it the best that you can do. Doing all this over the top stuff, you
Yeah.
have to like. Actually, another thing too, I saw Jamie Foxx actually give a little sneak of him playing Mike Tyson.
Oh,
it was absolutely incredible. No, it was incredible. He
he's
wasn't
gonna be
being
good. He's
funny.
gonna be good as Mike Tyson.
He wasn't being funny or anything like that. He was just really, he took on Mike's mannerisms and everything in his speech, and it was just amazing to watch.
He's gonna be good as he's gonna be great as Mike Tyson. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, I thank you, Simon. No problem. Thank you so much for joining, and you're welcome anytime. But yeah,
good night, Mike. Good night, Mike.
Good night. Good night. Yeah, I think you're right. His depiction is gonna I can't wait to see Jamie Foxx play Mike Tyson. Like, great. That's gonna be great. I mean, there's some people who've played roles like Tom Hanks with Forrest Gump. You know, there's some people who play roles, even though they're not real people. The roles just kind of resonate with us, where we can see how how in media it's powerful how you portray a person on screen. And I think people had such high expectations for Viola that failed them. But I agree with her that critics can they can cross the line from being honest to cruel, right? Cruel in the sense of calling her ugly, black, saying stuff about her. You know, why is that?
Yeah, that's different.
That's different, right? It's different if you have a critique about her actual performance, which I think that people have a right to say, hey, Viola, you missed the mark on this one, right? Like, we don't like the way you did our girl Michelle. But when they run into the talking about her her physical appearance, how she looked, she not pretty enough, she doing this, she doing that, saying stuff about her that I thought was a little cruel. I understand what Viola meant. Like, critics are critics. A lot of people don't know enough about film to provide a critique to her, right? I understand what she means, but fans, we have access now to be able to respond and in real time give you feedback on something that we don't like, and people did not like it. I mean, a lot of people stood up for her and supported her, but many people was like, no.
I'm a film buff myself, and my favorite critics when I was growing up, I don't know if you both might remember them. It was Siskel and Ebert. And I would spend, hours, watching them. And Siskel and Ebert, the way that they critique the film, they didn't do any personal attacks or whatever. They critiqued the film.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I did often, take their opinions, to heart a lot of times, because I shared a lot of the same taste that they had with a lot of things. But they always kept it on the work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Well, the first act wasn't that great. It fell apart in the third, blah, blah, blah. We don't think such and such portrayed this, yada, yada. And to Freezy's point, a lot of these critics now, they're not critiquing the product, or they might be critiquing the product, but they also see an opportunity to disparage and to attack, the people who are actually doing the work in a way of gaining clout. You know what I mean? So a lot of times that's one of the reasons why people question critics these days, because, like, look, man, are you critiquing the work, or are you just being vicious?
Right. Because that's what she was saying. It's hard to figure out the line, and I think that it's interesting to kind of, take in certain criticisms and determine which ones you're going to ignore. So I think that she's right in basically saying, like, I have my team of people who support me, who tell me the truth, who, I've gotten feedback from them, and those are the people who I value and care about, and I can't care about everybody else. And I, to some degree, think that is smart to protect herself. And like she said, she's, like we all said, I mean, she's an amazing actress. I don't want to take that away from her, because I think she's great at what she does. I don't like the way Michelle was depicted in certain scenes. And I don't like the perked lips. I don't understand that at all. Because I personally have never even noticed that about Michelle. Like, I haven't seen her do it to the degree that it was exaggerated on that show. And I watch her, pretty much, and she talked, and she's I saw her in person, actually. And I'm like, I just don't recall that even being something that represented Michelle, but clearly it is. She does do the perk lips, like you said, Haran. Now, how often, or is it really exaggerated?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. It was exaggerated. It was exaggerated. I mean, I've caught Michelle doing that here and there. I mean, but it was just like it just looked like something that it could have been a part of her personality, but it wasn't something that you harp on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think Viola, like her lips are too full, and when she was trying to do it, it does look like it looks more exaggerated than like.
And her makeup looks crazy. Her makeup looks kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Like her eyebrows look kind of crazy. I'm like, it's like drawn in like a supervillain.
Right.
You know what I mean? They got that always angry look with the eyebrows arch, and I'm just like, I don't know about this one.
And Michelle, she always looks good. Like
always
looks good. Her makeup looks natural. Her hair always looks nice. She's dressed beautiful. So I don't know. They missed the mark, and it wasn't really just Viola. Yeah,
and she signed off on
this. You can't mess up. Let me tell you something. Black women will not let you misrepresent Michelle Obama. She is the great black hope for black women. You can't just take on that role and mess that role up. If you can't do it, say you can't do it, Viola. You around here messing up role. Listen, one thing I learned that it takes a special. You can be a great actor in general, but it's a special talent to hone in and take a role as a historical figure and actually, getting to character of someone, a historical figure. It's a difference. Like you said, Malcolm X is my favorite movie, hands down.
Yeah,
that's when I became a fan of Denzel Washington. That's my favorite movie to this day. I probably watched that movie 100 times, and for a while I thought he was Malcolm X.
Man, he was,
until I seen the real Malcolm X.
Yeah,
and like Clicks and Views said, I agree with Clicks and Views. Will Smith, he's okay, but when it comes to taking on roles for acting out historical people, I know Serena's dad personally. He used to do special events in our area every year annually at our local park, because Serena and Venus actually grew up in my they went to school in my area. There's a place called Greenleaf. They stayed there. It's a tennis resort, and they went to school at Boone Middle School. Shout out to Boone Middle School in my local city. So I know their dad personally. This dude is he a tough cookie, right? And when he played, what else he played? He played Muhammad Ali.
I think he did a great job with Serena's dad.
Okay, I didn't see that movie yet. But okay, that's what I was going to say. I'm going to watch that.
Serena and Venus' dad. I'm sorry, King Richard. He did. Yeah. I liked the movie. I really did.
Okay, I'm gonna watch that tonight.
I really enjoyed it.
But he totally messed up Muhammad Ali. Let me tell you, when I seen Muhammad Ali, I was so mad.
Yeah, it was kind of boring. I never watched it again.
I was so mad. And look, another thing, God bless the dead. But Chadwick Boseman, listen, I'm with you, bro. I'm with you, but you messed up James Brown, bro.
Wait.
Oh, I didn't see James Brown. I didn't see James Brown.
He ain't messing him up that bad.
I ain't like James Brown.
You ain't like James Brown?
He ain't messing him up that bad. He ain't messing him up that bad. It was a Will Smith.
I gotta be the tiebreaker on that one because I gotta watch it and see.
You got the Will Smith bad.
Which one
it
of y'all
was a Will Smith bad.
Okay.
Maybe it was just a bad put together movie, Haran. What you think? What you say? Maybe it wasn't his acting. Maybe it's just a bad put together movie.
I don't think it was a great movie by no stretch of the imagination. I don't think that Chadwick did a bad job. He also nailed those dance moves off though. He nailed the dance.
Now he did that.
You know what I mean? But I don't think it was a great movie.
That's hard.
I don't think it was necessarily a bad movie, but it was like it was all right.
Listen,
it was all right.
James Brown.
I gotta watch that.
The Tupac movie. We could just take the Tupac movie and just throw it out the window.
Oh my God, that was
That was
just,
garbage. That was
oh
garbage.
my God.
That was
Who
trash.
was that guy? I forgot.
I don't think
I think that was probably his
like,
only acting role.
like it was terrible. But Cassandra said she said she loved the James Brown movie Freezy. What you talking about, Freezy?
I'm a big James Brown fan, Cassandra. So I
So
don't know.
you ain't like that, huh?
Are you a James
Nah,
Brown fan, Freezy? You
huh?
mess with James Brown? You mess with James Brown, man?
That's my dog.
James Brown,
Oh,
your
okay.
dog. Okay.
All right, man. I'm a big
That's
James
my
Brown
dog.
fan.
I mean, here's the thing though about the critics on social media, right? They tend to go into personal attacks against the person instead of sticking with, like you said, the product. And then it becomes a tool that people use, and those words sometimes impact like the next move for the organization or the company. Because
Right.
remember when Power changed the song and Trey Songz sang it, and remember everybody got on social media and was like, that song sucks, we hate Trey Songz version of the song. And the next show they cut and put the old 50 version with Joe
With Joe.
on it. I mean, you literally have, like, people look at it like, oh, what I say on social media, that's my opinion, it's innocent. But sometimes that opinion can affect someone's livelihood. Like, somebody can decide, oh, I don't want to work with Viola Davis no more because of the way she depicted Michelle. You have to be careful. Like, that's what I'm saying. Social media is a little scary because people's opinion of you sometimes can translate into behavior that can possibly get your life, I don't know, like
It affects your brand.
It can affect
It
your
affects
brand.
your brand.
It can affect your brand completely and make you lose gigs and make you lose money. And it can, I mean, it has done that for several people. You remember Cardi B? I mean, she pretty much explained how people didn't even want to work with her because they were afraid that they were going to catch a disease because of the rumors that have been spread about her. There were people who literally was kind of like scared to touch her because they thought she actually had herpes, and
Everybody did.
Everybody honestly thought it because it was a rumor. So what I'm saying is that social media is a little bit more powerful than people think, especially when it comes to people in that industry, the entertainment industry, and their brand. They can really lose their jobs. I mean, so she says that, oh, critiques don't mean nothing, blah blah blah. But honestly, yeah, they do, sweetie. You could they could cancel that whole series because of her. You know what I mean? So what do you guys think about that? Like, how powerful a critique is on social media?
I think that social media, first of all, I really truly believe that it's basically public opinion on steroids, on moving at hyper speed. One of the things is that I was having a discussion with someone, and we were discussing high profile court cases, and I said to them, I was like, it has to be almost an impossible feat to find an unbiased, or if you want to call it unbiased, because personally I think juries are bullshit. But anyway, it has to be an impossible feat to find the right jury to when you're looking to put them together for a particular high profile court case, because information moves so fast that by the time you find your jury, everyone's already made up their mind. You know what I mean? Everyone pretty much made up their mind about everything.
Good point. Good point, Cassandra. I just want to say that was a good point. What she said about Cardi. Well, maybe she said maybe they were afraid to work with Cardi because she admitted.
I was about to say that too. Like I thought it was because she was a blood, allegedly. Allegedly. I thought it was that. I know.
Let's not forget that.
I mean, I didn't know it was because she had the clap.
That's another thing though, that another point is that that I want to talk about actually is that are we kind of the reason why certain images of us, like, is it truly because we are engaging in such behavior, promoting such behavior, that we are racialized in the ways that we are. Because I do think that some of the behavior plays a part, right? Because we've included Cardi into like the Black community, Cardi B, right? And she's not Black.
Right.
I mean, she's not Black. Both of her parents are like of Hispanic descent. Like she don't even have a Black parent. So it's just interesting. You know what I mean? Like I don't even understand this. It's
Really?
like, oh, yeah, it's like Black people say she's Black. I'm like, she's not Black. But because she met with Joe Biden and she got an influence in our community, and we promote her as if she's like part of the community, that we kind of get this attachment to her behavior.
You told me something new
you know,
tonight.
so her behavior is over sexualized, like they do Black women, right? The image that she portrays is something that women, Black women specifically, we always get attached to in these industries, and of course in media. We always get attached to certain, sexualized images, not caring about men, being an independent woman that can, I could take care of myself, I don't need no man. And she kind of promotes that, even though she's married, right? And with children, right? But she kind of promotes that, like, men is just kind of, we just use them for what we want, and then we move on. Also, we're going to move on to talk about Meg the Stallion, which is the next topic that I want to talk about. And Megan kind of falls under this whole umbrella. Of course, her and Cardi did a song together that kind of blew up. Anyway,
now this whole thing is a mess.
Yes,
it's a mess.
But Meg the Stallion is in the media for something totally different. This whole interaction that she had with Tory Lanez, where he was accused of allegedly shooting her in her foot. And there has been a question of whether this is like something that truly happened. People truly do not believe Megan and her story. And I think primarily is because initially when she was apprehended by the police and when that whole altercation happened, she initially lied and said that she stepped on glass. It wasn't until she got to the hospital and the doctor examined her, he said, no, these are bullet casings in your foot. And so then she decided to tell the truth about what happened. So because initially she didn't say, she was shot, people are saying, calling to question whether she was even shot. And then secondly, people are even questioning whether Tory did it at all. And then, people are just pretty much shaming her, victimizing her, or making her seem like she's not really a victim. And so for me, my opinion, I'm just wondering, like, it's just Black women in general not seen as a victim, even when there is like physical harm to your body and stuff? Or is it really just because of who she is and how she represents herself, or maybe because of some of the other things that happened? Because on the flip side, we have Johnny Depp's wife, Amber Heard, right? Who people are saying that she lied, but the UK posted that article as if she was a victim of domestic violence. So people believed her instantly. They believed her story, treated her as a victim, and she was instantly embraced. But when it comes to Meg the Stallion and her being a victim, of a crime, even whatever the case, whatever happened, she was hurt in this incident, right? She was hurt physically where her foot was bleeding, and you can see her in the video with her hands up, and then everywhere she's walking there's a puddle of blood that's following her, right, in her foot. And people still didn't give her a grace or treat her like a victim. And so it just made me think about the power of media and how certain images of women make men or make people in general feel like she doesn't deserve to really be protected or seen as a victim, because she kind of portrays herself as one way. And so people are having a hard time connecting with her being a victim in this situation. But that's my perception of it. But what do you guys think about this whole Meg the Stallion thing and Tory Lanez?
Well, first of all, what you just said about Amber Heard and in relation to Meg the Stallion, that is exactly the point that I was making to you earlier, Tawana.
Yeah.
Amber Heard gets grace because she's a white woman.
Right. Right.
You know what I mean? So, she's seen as even though there is proof that this woman sliced up Johnny Depp's fingers. I mean, she admitted to this, man, and she has admitted to a number of toxic behaviors, and they both have. But in order for Amber Heard is continuing to have a career in Hollywood. She might very well come out of this unscathed. She might win. Casey Anthony, she deleted her child. She went on to have a life.
That's right.
You know what I mean? I don't know black women that lucky. But anyway, in terms of Meg the Stallion, and this is not about her being Meg the Stallion. This is about me questioning the facts. Period. Okay, it is what it is. You know what I mean? I'm not concentrating on her being a black woman, and what I mean, and if she is being protected and so on and so forth. Fact of the matter is this: I know gunshot victims. I've seen bullet wounds. Now, this can be an open and shut case if she would just if her lawyers can just present that there is a bullet that went through her foot. If that is the case, it went through here, it went throughout there. We have X-rays, so on and so forth. If someone gets shot in the foot, they're not walking anywhere. I'm telling you that straight up and down. You know what I mean? Now, I saw the wound. It looks like there was some kind of glass. It looks like something happened to her foot. You know what I mean? But I don't see a bullet. I don't see any idea of there being a bullet. Where was she shot? Can you show where she was shot? I just keep hearing that she was shot. I'm like, okay, cool. Where? And if it's the foot, can you provide evidence? Because that's what they're going to ask. It's going to ask, can you provide evidence of where this bullet entered and where it exited? And if you can't provide that, then the prosecution, the defense is going to be like, well, if you can't even provide it, then you can't prove that this person shot you. Now, did something happen that night? Clearly something happened. I don't think either party is really being completely honest about what happened. I think they're protecting each other to a degree. You know what I mean? But there's far more to the story. You know what I mean? In my opinion, and the story continues to evolve. And whenever the story continues to evolve, that's usually a red flag of something.
Well, they said it was like it was bullet. They said it was a bullet fragments, right, Karan?
Yeah, they said it was bullet fragments. Now, bullet fragments are different from you actually is the way it's being explained to me is that a bullet went through your foot. Like someone can shoot, someone can pop off at somebody, and I get bullet fragments in my shoulder, but the other person is shot. You know what I'm saying? I mean, so that's kind of how it works. Now, was she? Where did the bullet go? You know what I mean?
Okay.
That is the
from what I've gathered from the story. First of all, it's kind of fishy that she didn't want to come out and tell the whole truth at the hospital. I know they were leaving Kylie Jenner's party. Oh, they were in some snazzy neighborhood. I think it was Kylie Jenner's party they were leaving and stuff. So but it's fishy that she didn't want to just. How hard is it to just say exactly what happened? You did okay. So as the situation has progressed and more information has came out, it's came out that through interviews and such that what's the singer's name? The guy?
Tory Lanez.
Tory Lanez. Okay. It said that he as he was shooting the gun, he was saying dance MF or let me see you dance or something like that, right? But in my opinion, I think that this is my opinion, because there's another girl involved too. I think it's her assistant or friend. It's another female involved, and I think that Tory Lanez probably did say, "Let me see you dance," but he's adamant that he never shot a gun and it wasn't him. I think that her friend shot the gun, and Tory Lanez did say, "Let dance, bitch, dance," and it was like all in, they were drunk and high, but it came out that Megan Thee Stallion, the girl who she was with, I think she slept with her boyfriend. Megan Thee Stallion slept with the girl's friend who was in the car with her. So there could have been some hidden animosity. You understand what I'm saying?
Here's the picture. Here's the picture. And this is the picture of her foot after the incident. I don't know if you guys can see it. But there is a hole here where that's supposedly a depiction of what happened. And so she has all of these pictures. I'm sorry, let me go back to the actual pictures of her foot. Here's the pictures of her foot, though, where it seems like there is some kind of indication that something happened.
Right.
Yeah, that's not a gunshot though.
Yeah, I don't see a gunshot. And another thing, Tawana, you got to understand, wherever you get shot, most likely after you get shot, you have to go through a series of physical therapy. You just got shot, you know what I mean? And you have to, if you were to get shot in your foot, you would have to spend time, you know what I mean, on crutches, a long time on crutches, and then afterwards, you probably would have to go through physical therapy. She was hopping around in videos like a month later.
How long does it typically take?
It depends on either, you know what I mean, it depends on how bad the gunshot wounds. It depends on so many things. I mean, you could have people who got shot in a particular area, and it could take them months. It could take them 4 or 5 months. Got some people who get healed up in 3 months. You know what I mean?
So here's what she initially said. She said that she lied because there was a gun in the car, and or firearm in the car, and she really, with all of the things that was going on in the media at that time, the George Ford, Breonna Taylor, everything that was going on, she didn't really want anything to happen, right? She didn't want to, because she felt like if she would have said we have a gun in the car, that would have gave a red flag to police, and probably somebody would have been arrested, killed, or something. I mean, murked.
Right.
So she felt like in that instance, she wanted to protect everyone, and she didn't really want to say, okay, this is the problem. And I don't know if you guys saw the interview with Gayle King that she did recently. She did an interview with Gayle King, and she explained the incident a little bit, and she talked about everything. And her doctors and everyone has reported that she was actually shot with a firearm. That it has been confirmed. It's on multiple reports. That they actually are the ones who told her, like, no, this is you have a firearm, and they say that to this day that she still has fragments of the bullets in her foot that they can't remove. So even if it didn't directly hit her, like, it ricocheted, right, and like hit her. Something happened. He did fire.
Clearly something happened.
Yeah, someone fired a firearm. Now, you have to remember, they was at Kylie's party. They was getting drunk. They was kicking it. They whatever. You get in the car, they already heated, because they said it was a fight anyway. And then to your point, Freezy, there was some kind of indication that Kelsey, which is the friend, and Tory previously had a relationship.
Exactly.
And then Megan kind of infringed on that, and then her and Tory kind of became close. And Kelsey was a little upset by that because she didn't know.
There you go.
She didn't know that Tory and Megan had gotten that close. Now, this is all hearsay and alleged. So when that whole thing came to light and Kelsey saw that Tory and Megan was kind of like getting real close and chummy, it caused the fight and the argument. Megan was supposedly in the front seat and everybody else was in the back seat, but there was an argument that was going on. And Megan, to the point where Megan got out of the car because she didn't want to be a part of it. When she got out of the car, shots were fired that eventually hit her in some way. How it hit her directly, fragments, whatever. But the problem is
when somebody said dance, bitch.
Yes, somebody said that. She didn't say all the details in the Gayle King interview because I know she was saving some stuff for trial or whatever. But even though that there's a doctor report saying that she was shot or essentially have bullet fragments in her foot, that there was some, some damage that was done to her, it seems like people still don't believe that she's a victim. And my whole thing is Amber Heard had millions of people believing she was a victim when
I feel what you're saying, Tawana.
She actually did hurt Johnny Depp. Like there was some physical damage done to him that he didn't report. That's another story. But when it comes to people like Megan, people have no mercy for her. So I'm thinking about it in terms of her media representation, her racial identity, how Black women are seen. I'm thinking about it because I can't make sense of why people can't sympathize and see her as a victim, even with the evidence that says.
Well,
what do you think?
Can I speak on that?
Yeah.
Their stories are kind of different too, to be fair. I mean, from the get-go, Megan was shaky from the hospital. She couldn't even get her story together. That's what I'm saying. Like Megan Heard, she had her shit together. You understand what I'm saying? So Megan Heard was a little bit more sharper than Megan.
Amber Heard.
Oh yeah, Megan Heard.
Amber Heard.
Amber Heard had to her point, she was a little bit more sharper than Megan from the get-go. Megan was all over the place. It was a lot of inconsistency. She didn't know who shot her. How in the hell you don't know who shot you? Come on, man. It's not like y'all was in this rich neighborhood. It was just y'all three. Come on, you know who shot you.
Well,
I feel like she was trying to cover up.
Part of her didn't, right? She wanted to cover up for her friend. Like she didn't want to get him in trouble initially. I mean, eventually she's gonna have to tell the truth because something's gonna happen. Hi, Anton.
She act like she didn't even know she had. Gayle asked. She did an interview with Gayle, right? And Gayle asked, "Were you intimate with Tory Lanez?" She acted like she didn't like. She couldn't answer the question at first. Like, you don't remember you had sex with Tory Lanez?
Oh,
your mic.
To be fair, Gayle's question was, did you have a sexual relationship with Tory? And so she kind of was like, now, here's the thing. What if you just, one time y'all did y'all thing and you don't consider that no sexual relationship?
She know what Gayle was asking her.
Okay, but
man.
I'm saying she technically answered it based on what she probably perceived the question to mean. Instead of asking clarity, like then Gayle was like, she provided clarity. She was like, did you have a sexual relationship with him? Did you guys have sex? And she's like, so why is he saying that y'all had sex? You know what I mean?
Right.
And a little part of, I don't know. Do you guys think she did? You think she was having a sexual relationship with him?
She said she did, but she paused for a minute.
No, she said no. She said no.
Huh?
She said no.
Oh yeah, she did say no. She said no. You're right.
She did not admit to having a sexual relationship.
That's right.
Him.
But no, what happened was,
you guys assuming that they did. Go, you Freezer. You think
what happened was Gayle asked her, and I think she was like she was clueless about what Gayle was asking her, and I was like, that's a fairly easy question to answer. I mean, was you effing? That's what Gayle was asking you, really. I mean, was you effing? And you was effing. Y'all was effing.
Oh, you think they were? You think they were?
Of course.
Of course.
Okay. What about you, Haran? You think they were?
Of course. Of course.
We're talking
And
about Megan the
I
Stallion. Okay.
I will say this though. I will say this. You know, I mean, if they really did get into an altercation, you know, what I mean, not to be funny, but Meg would wash that dude. I mean, he ain't but 4'5". Meg looked like, yo, Freezy. Meg looked like she could give you and me a problem, man.
No, but let me tell y'all something. A man is still a man. His strength is
right.
Still, his strength is.
Oh
still,
yeah, definitely. I mean,
I don't care.
That's definitely true.
I have seen a 5'2" man knock a 6-foot woman out. Like I've seen it.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I do not.
Yeah,
that's true.
I don't look at it like that because I feel
right.
like he still possessed physical strength that could.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like so, but my thing with her is maybe she didn't want to out him. Maybe she was thinking about, okay, how am I going to spin this story? You know, he was apologetic. He was like, I'm sorry, you know, whatever. And so maybe she didn't really want to get him in trouble and she didn't feel like it was such a big deal. But why that bullet could have hit her?
I don't think he even shot the gun. I think her friend shot the gun. They was drunk and she was horsing around with the gun. And she was shooting
think Kelsey did because she instantly reported that he.
But listen, if you listen, I'm partly. I was a little bit in the street. Okay, Harun, I want you to follow me. Let's just break this down.
Allegedly.
Okay. Allegedly. It's very smart for you to be the first one to make the phone call. It's very smart to do that because you playing cleanup right now. Okay.
Exactly.
But this is the thing. She knows that Tory slept with her friend. She know that. Mm-hmm. So what would prevent her from saying, this ninja shot me? See, it's too many inconsistencies in the story, and that's why you know something in the pudding ain't right.
Something ain't. Something is. There's a couple of components that will fill in the whole situation, and I think that they're not speaking on it because maybe both of them are protecting their careers. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like there's a huge chunk of this. Like come on, man. You know what I mean? Like the Freezy's point, man. Come on, I done been around, man. I done seen some things. I know when somebody, black people in general, we know when somebody trying to cover something up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, when the juicy smoothie thing happened, and certain things was going down and certain things was happening, we was like, yeah, that don't really sound correct.
Black people, we had this fake high moral compass that annoys me. We act like we just know everything about what people doing and how their intention. Like we are the worst people to judge people. No, I want to say this. We are the worst people to judge people. We are we need to get off of our damn high horse and stop acting like we so high and mighty that people can't make mistakes and stuff. So here's the thing that I have a problem with.
Okay.
I do feel like she, regardless of the details, she was hurt really badly in that even if she was dancing the next week and she was good, she was feeling good, whatever, she was twerking the next month. She was hurt in that moment. I saw the blood dripping from her foot as she was kind of limping. I saw the video and I was like, I instantly had sympathy for her, even if I don't think that Tory did it, or even if I question what truly happened and if they're hiding details, which is fair to say. But what I don't understand is why is it that we can't sympathize and see her as a victim? I think that's what I want to see about what I want to say about like the black women that I know that's in the media right now, in comparison to like the Amber Heards and the, you know, like how we instantly jump on the she ain't a victim, she ain't hurt, that wasn't really no bullet, that questioning everything instead of just instantly seeing her as a victim of some kind of violence.
Because from the start, it was inconsistencies. From the
Right.
start, it was
Right.
shaky. That's what I'm saying. It
Right.
was different from Amber Heard. Go ahead, Haran.
No, to Freezy's point, it's kind of like, look, man, once when you're in these kind of particular situations, once the story shifts man on woman, for me, it makes me think like, okay, now what's going on? Like I said, the Juicy Smooth A thing. When that had happened, I said like, okay, maybe this really did happen to this man. And then after a while, when I started hearing certain things, I was like, whoa, wait. What do you mean that happened? That don't even sound right. So just two Africans were just hanging out.
No.
White.
First of all, in Chicago, because I'm from Chicago.
Like two Africans were just hanging out in Chicago.
Ain't no hate crimes going on in Chicago, like
and
in the middle of winter. In the middle of winter, it's just,
I mean, and they from Africa. Ain't no African hanging out nowhere in the middle of no winter, and especially in Chicago, in a Chicago winter. So it was kind of like things started being like, it just really wasn't sounding right. But the point I'm making is this. I definitely understand what you're saying, Tawana. I definitely feel what you're saying. Like, as Black people, we are very hard on each other. We are extremely vicious with each other because it stems from a lot of trauma. It stems from a lot of trauma and the issues and the situations that we've dealt with
It's a lot of
personally. Where
self-hate
we
too.
say, yeah, man, and the issues that we've dealt with personally where ninjas ain't shit. Let's just keep it real. We know when something didn't add up and something when it came out in the rinse, it just was just as dirty as it was when it went in. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of trauma connected to that. Now with the Amber Heard situation, I've seen white women jump on the side of Johnny Depp. They are on his side.
Yeah.
They are on his side. The white women
but now
are saying, for Amber Heard.
But I'm saying her initial interview damaged his career. That damaged his career.
Obliterated it. He can't come back to Hollywood.
Yeah, like that initial interview that Amber Heard did, they believed her. They backed her. Disney supported it to the point where they cut ties with him. So what I'm saying is, I understand where you're coming in is that, well, Amber told her side from the beginning. She didn't change up. She didn't switch up, anything. So she always looks like she was telling the truth. But just because something looks pretty doesn't mean it is. So what I'm saying is, let's treat Megan like the victim she is, and regardless of whether or not she's telling the truth about every specific detail, she was actually hurt in that situation to the point where we know that her doctor reported her having bullet fragments in her foot, and she really is a victim of some kind of violence. And whether or not she wants to talk about the details and give us the full story is kind of irrelevant. But Black women, we're not giving that lane to be victims. We are often, like you said, over criticized, especially in our community. I feel like something like Viola's comment where it can get cruel. It can just be really cruel. And in my opinion, we are not high moral compass where we can judge people. Like, we need to look in a long mirror at stuff that we do in our community before we put judgment on people and say that they shouldn't be victims because they may not be perfect. You know what I mean?
You know what, Tawana? I ain't mad at you, Tawana. You very pro your people, and you pro Black, dog. I get it. I get it, Tawana.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. But listen, let's be fair. Yeah. Tory Lanez career suffered a lot too. His career suffered too, so we got to be fair on both sides. I'm just saying the difference is
good point.
Now, okay. Let's make it clear. Let's be clear. Megan was a victim. It's evident from the pictures. What's up, Tristan? It's evident from the picture she was a victim. But if I go to the hospital and I got shot because of a bank robbery, and the police ask a question to me and I can't give direct answers, I'm going to automatically be put into a suspect category. If I'm shaky from the start, you understand what I'm saying? Yeah, I got shot, but you can't answer simple questions, dude.
Right,
Look, Anton, he corrected you. He said, "I'm pro." He said, "Tawana's pro black women."
Oh,
let's get it together. They can do no wrong in her eyes.
Hey, Anton can't wait to type that. Look at it.
You know what? He's absolutely right. So I'm
Look, Tawana, you weren't supposed to own up to that.
I mean, hey man, it is what it is. Man.
We all gotta have a call. We gotta have a call.
Oh Lord.
Listen, Tawana. You know what I mean? As much as people might not, you know what I mean, think that it is, I am very much one of the main reasons why I'm very hard on black men is because I am, you know what I mean, pro, you know what I mean, for black men. We are supposed to be on our square. So ain't about no excuses. We don't have time for excuses. So whatever. So the space that you're coming from, Tawana, I understand.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then sometimes it might be like, you know what I mean, I'm making excuses, you know what I mean, for black women and so on and so forth. It's not that at all. It's just that as black men, we have to, you know what I mean, be sitting, we have to be setting our square. We have to demand more of ourselves.
Yeah.
And in terms of Tory Lanez, you know, his situation, yes, he was definitely affected by it. And here's where the problem is. It's like I just truly feel that both sides of the aisle aren't telling the whole story.
Right.
I think they both lying.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think they both lying, and somebody or something is being protected.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That if that presents itself, it'll blow the lid off the whole situation. So I'm not gonna be.
All I care about is who shot the gun, because I could care less about who's sleeping with who and why you was angry. Like, I want to know who shot the gun that ultimately grazed her foot or put bullet fragments in her foot where she was hurt physically. Because regardless, I don't care what she verbally said to you, she don't deserve to be shot, and you shouldn't pull a gun out on a woman who was unarmed and walking away from the vehicle. Something is completely wrong with that story. So whomever did that is dead wrong, in my opinion, regardless of what detail she might not be telling us, regardless of what story. I just urge people to have sympathy for Black women who go through physical harm, because I think that we tend to focus on these little minute details that ultimately she is a victim. She's a victim. And so it bothers me that we don't see her as that. You know, it bothers me that, because I know that, like, it happens on a day-to-day basis to other women of color. You know what I mean? I know, because I will tell y'all a personal story, not me personally, but a story of a woman that I know here in Chicago who literally was delivering Uber. And she was on a block that was, you know, it was summer. So Chicago in the summer, everybody outside, you know, because we don't really get a lot of good weather. I mean, if you're in the hood, you know, it's probably a lot of people outside. And so she came to a block that she, you know, she kind of knew, but she didn't really know. And she went to deliver the food because she was doing Uber Eats. And she's 5 months pregnant at the time, 6 months pregnant. She gets out the car. Someone starts shooting, right?
Ugh.
She gets shot 5 times. Now she's pregnant. She's laying on the ground because she didn't even make it to deliver the food. She's laying on the ground. Clearly somebody called the ambulance, whatever. When this is her account, because I wasn't there, I wasn't present. When the police came, like, they literally walked over her. Like, he walked over her like she was just a part of the ground, and nobody came to her aid. Nobody, hey, you know, we calling the ambulance. Like, she literally was in the street. The police was walking over her, and she was saying, like, she was like, she's up, right? Because she She was shot in her ankle. She was shot in places like that where she was still living, but she was bleeding out, right? She could feel herself bleeding out. And so what I'm saying is, even when she's in the most vulnerable, like she's visibly pregnant, we can all, you can tell, you can see her, she's big, she's laying on the ground, she's not involved, right? She's not involved at all. She's there doing her job. They perceived her like she wasn't even in pain. They walked around her like she didn't even deserve care.
Well, it goes back to what I said before. And as I said before, and I use Black women as an example, you're not seen as a person. You're not allowed to be feminine. You're not allowed to be a victim. You're a strong Black woman. Black men, we're not seen as human beings. So anytime something happens, you know what I mean, and they ready to call security on one Black man, you see like 10 dudes show up. You know what I mean? Like, yo, man, I ain't Action Jackson. Like, you know what I mean? I ain't, but in their minds, you know what I mean? You see it with Eric Garner. You know what I mean? In their minds, it took like 12 or 13 of them just to take them down, because the concept when it comes to us is that it's all about physicality with us, with this raging, angry wall of physicality that will overpower anything, and we can withstand any degree of pain. They say these things about us even in the healthcare industry. This is one of the reasons why, we die in the hospital so often, because it is expected that we have an intense pain threshold. Nothing, and to you have to also see it from their perception, is that for us to have gone through slavery and mounds of trauma in this world and still be standing, from their perception, it's like, oh, these people are unbreakable. They're amazing.
Can I say that she did say it was Black officers, and I feel
I'm not saying that we're not victims of. We do the same thing,
right?
We do the same thing to each other,
exactly. And I feel like they even had an opportunity to be like, hey, like, this woman needs immediate care. Like, come on. You know what I'm saying? And it was like it in Chicago, like there's a lot of complaints that it takes extremely long for medical attention to get to us, like when there is like gun violence and things like that.
I'm sure.
And I'm sure it's because it happens, so much, I guess. But I mean, it's not an excuse as to why we don't get the care. It's just more so like that happens on a regular. So for them, it's not that big of a deal, right? But it just to me, even when you look at a woman who is in the most vulnerable situation, because she's a Black woman, sometimes I think that they dismiss our pain or dismiss us as victims. And that's my only point about Megan. I do understand that her story is a little sketchy, and so some people don't want to jump on the bandwagon so quickly. They want to let it play out in court, right? Just in case Tory didn't do it. But it just okay. That's just my perception.
This is the thing. Me personally, I'm not, and I respect everybody's views on the panel, but I'm neither pro Black woman or pro Black man. I'm just pro Black, and I go by case basis. I'm for what's best for the Black community as a whole, and I feel like, depending on the circumstance.
Wait a minute, because this is really good. So we got pro Black woman, pro Black man, and then we got Freezy, who's over here.
I'm just pro Black.
Oh, that's great. So we got a good dynamic.
But I want to ask you this question though, right, Tawana? Okay, hypothetically, this is just strictly hypothetical. What if it turns out, okay, we know that Megan was a victim somewhere because her foot was injured. That's apparent. But what if it surfaced that she actually lied and she was taking up for her friend, and her friend actually was playing around with a firearm and was shooting at the ground, and the bullets actually ricocheted, and and that's how Megan received these bullet fragments in her foot? What if it turns out that she lied? How would you look at Megan's victimhood then? Now she technically she would still be a victim, right?
Mhm.
But what I'm saying, how would you view it then, though? The whole spectrum of the matter.
The circumstances don't change my empathy for her. It doesn't. I mean, I still feel sad for her that she had to experience that, even if it was a mistake and that she's trying to cover up, or
But
even if it
but on the
was-
other end, there's a guy that suffered. That you
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
now we have to look at Tory Lanez as a victim as well.
If that's a real scenario, yeah.
Right. If hypothetically, if that was, so that's what I'm saying. Like, me, I just feel like we ain't got time for division. We can't afford division in the black neighborhood. We at the bottom of the totem. We got the band together.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just like this panel, we together on this panel. We all don't.
I definitely don't. I didn't take the approach of bashing Tory, because that, to me, I think that would have been more of, okay,
It's a lot of women did bash him, though.
Yeah, it is. But I think my perspective is, I still view her as a victim. I still want justice for her. And I think that I want to find out what happened, right? I want to see what happened. I want to let it play out in court. But I do think that some of the attacks and things that's being said about her, some of them, like I said, get personal and talk about stuff that really is irrelevant to what happened to her, right? Because people end up calling her a man, or saying she this and that, and she could have took him, saying crazy stuff that I just feel like is really dehumanizing her.
But she lying that she had sex with. That's what I'm saying. It's just
I don't
too
believe
much.
that she lying about that. Don't say she lying.
Man, come on.
Tawana.
You know what, Tawana? You really is pro-black. You pro-black woman for real.
She like
what?
Why? You can't picture with that 4-foot dude. 4'5" dude.
I don't. I think she. Let me tell you my experience with people in general. I think that what happens is, in these spaces, you get close to women that you wouldn't normally get close to, right? Like you're close to, like he probably would never be around a woman like Meg the Stallion, and Kelsey's beautiful too, in a general sense, right? Because he's so little, I mean, it's probably not a lot of women that was interested in him before he got money. So now he got money. Right. He's in this different realm, and I think that she saw him as like one of those friends that you can have around, you can flirt with a little bit, but he just like that guy that you keep around just because you want to have fun. But I don't think she was really attracted to him at all. I think she friend zoned him. And in my opinion, what happens in a lot of these spaces, and I've been a victim of this, like where men, when you communicate with them, they think you like them. You be like, no, I'm just cool. I just want to be cool. But like they end up making these weird fixations, obsessions with you. And they end up taking and then they get mad when the relationship is not what they thought it was. And you're like, no, I just thought you was cool. I didn't think that you was thinking that. But I had to realize that when you're talking to lames.
You're muted, brother.
Oh yeah, but I was saying,
when you're talking to lames or people who not used to being around a certain caliber of women, I think that they automatically be like, yeah, like this, she digging me. But I feel like, in these in entertainment, it could be seen the same way. Like I can see him thinking that just because she probably was like talking to him on the phone, she probably was spending a lot of time with him, she probably was giving him attention that she normally don't. And I think that he just kind of like took that to mean that they was gonna have something more, and got mad when it didn't materialize into that, because the guys who she date look very different. And so I don't see the connection. I saw history. Now, if it was a man that I see her typically being attracted to, I probably would have been like, girl, now you gave that man whatever. But for him, because I have a friend that's tall. And I don't know if y'all ever seen my Instagram, because y'all my real friends on Instagram. Everybody not my real friend. And I have a girlfriend that's really tall. She would never sleep with somebody that's short. And so Megan is, to me, reminds me of that, like a girl that's tall. And
you know what I think, Tawana? I think it's because you don't think the ninja is fine. I think that's what it really is. So in your mind, like, why would anybody be interested in him? Like, look,
I think Megan's boyfriend, or who she's currently with, just looks way different than, like, I don't see the attraction. I don't see the attraction.
Right. I mean, they could have gotten into a moment in time where, you know, there's times in people's lives where you're dating someone or you're involved with someone that's not always your type. Of course, you know what I mean? She's about 5'10", 5'11". He's like 5 whatever. You know what I mean? Yeah, one would think like, yeah, I don't see that happening. Logistically, how does that even work?
I don't see it.
You know, I think there's a lot of things going on that's not being said.
I think he got real mad because she wasn't reciprocating whatever energy he was putting out. And just like a nigger that don't have no control over his emotion, he acted like an animal. And
incel.
He acted like an incel, because that's what they do when they have no control over their emotions. I think his pathology, it's exactly what I talk about all the time, y'all. And he literally, I feel like that's what we're gonna find out. And so that's my perception today. But y'all got y'all, so that was good. I'm glad y'all have a different experience.
But listen, it also surfaced because it's important to note that Megan shared a tweet that Tory Lanez apologized. He tweeted an apology to her. She was claiming the apology was for him shooting her, but he responded and said, "No, I was apologizing because I slept with her and her best friend." That's what he came out publicly and said that's what the apology was for.
He's a liar.
You're gonna say that?
He's a typical man who, when you get caught in something,
oh my God, a typical man,
typical man, when you have to deflect, and you have to blame somebody. And he was like, oh, I don't want nobody to think I was apologizing for this, so I slept with y'all both. Come on now.
Okay, you know what, Wanda? It is clear.
Only in his dreams.
It's clear where you stand, and I respect it, ma'am.
Tawana is not giving in. I'm telling you that right now.
Nah, it's like you on your square, sis. That's your square, sis.
I'm not playing with y'all today. I'm not playing with y'all.
I respect it.
I got Megan back. I got your back, girl. Now, Blac Chyna. Let's talk about Blac Chyna last but not least, okay? Because she has the same problematic issue with her image. Y'all know her brand is just like, people will not let her live down her being a stripper before. Like, she ain't no stripper no more, but people just can't let her move on. But guess what? Kim Kardashian had a whole sex tape, and people didn't let her move on and become the greatest model ever. But Blac Chyna seemed to be typecasted into this whatever role, which I can't stand that we do that to Black women. But here's the thing. She is now suing the Kardashian family because they allegedly stopped her show. She's saying that it was slander, defamation case, where they pretty much made slanderous statements that caused the network to drop her show. And so she's suing them to the tune of almost like 60 million, something crazy like that. And she's basically saying that that they put her through hell and they caused her to lose a lot of money in which she's haven't been able to take care of her family, her kids, and etc., because she lost all of these supposed deals from reality TV, because Kris Jenner was instrumental in pretty much turning the network against her and stopping the network from wanting to work with her. Chyna says that the second season of Rob & Chyna was already signed and in the works. And then the season was abruptly stopped. And she blames that on the Kardashians. And so I think there's been a lot of claims, been a lot of things that have been said. But obviously the physical abuse that Rob endured during that relationship have come out. And the sisters, Kim, Chloe, all of them have spoken to the physical violence that they witnessed and or heard directly from Rob.
So he's a victim.
He was apparently she pulled a firearm on him, put it to his head. Apparently,
so he was a victim.
Apparently in a joking way, he was a victim. There were incidents where the boyfriend of Kris Jenner witnessed Chyna like punching him, and he got in the middle and tried to stop her, but she was physically violent toward him. Chyna said that she did not intend to harm Rob after pointing the firearm at his head. That she alleged that the firearm was not loaded, and that she did not put the finger on the trigger. However, she claimed that the action was a joke, and Rob knew it was a joke.
That is the most hood ass explanation that I've ever heard in my life. I mean, this ain't even loaded, man. Why are you playing for, man?
She should have kept her mouth shut. That's what she should have did.
So she's basically alleging that they are kind of, like defaming her, falsifying this information, called her ghetto, and made all these slanderous statements. So, yeah. So my question is like, for the media portrayal, like Meg the Stallion, right? And Blac Chyna, right? It's hard for us to see them as victims. I don't know if I can necessarily argue with the Blac Chyna.
Not Blac Chyna. That's now look, listen, I know that.
No, Tawana, you got to stick to your guns, Tawana. You pro black women now.
I don't promote violence, and I don't promote domestic violence on any end. So I won't support women who participate in that, because I'm against domestic violence in general. So even if I'm against it in whoever does it, right? I think women are more likely victims of it, but there are cases obviously where women are the aggressor. So I would never support that. But at the end of the day, my whole thing is the perception of media, like with Meg the Stallion, but Blac Chyna, like, no one is sympathizing with her in this particular, like everybody's like on the Kardashian side. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like
we know she in trouble. She in trouble because even you ain't sympathizing with her. So if she ain't got Tawana G on her side, it's over with. It's over, Blac Chyna.
I'm trying, y'all, but I couldn't find an angle.
I mean, even one is like, I don't know.
They threw part of the case out too, right? Already, they threw part of it.
Kim Kardashian has been completely removed from the defamation lawsuit. The judge ruled that there was not any evidence against Kim, so she's been completely removed. So I guess
we have to be clear. Yeah. Let's be clear here on what this is. Look, initially, this girl, and this has been documented. Initially, this girl used Rob as a means to make her way into the Kardashian brand. She had a name ready for herself and all that. She was going to use her government name, and at the end of that, use Kardashian. And she was going to run with that and make millions of dollars. But once that the kibosh was put on that, that's when she became angered, and she needed to direct that anger towards someone. And it was to them. It was towards them, because in her mind, it's like, you kept me from taking a piece of your brand. You know what I mean? And I had to, she had said, she did some wild things to that kid, man. Some wild stuff to that guy. I mean, she had, I remember like maybe a couple of years ago, man, she She had a side dude in his bathrobe in they bed, man. They was taking pictures. You know what I mean? It was wild, man, and unnecessary. And he was just sitting there trying to be a good guy, take care of his kid. And in reality, let's just call it what it is, man. A guy like that, that looked like that, would not, under normal circumstances, have gotten anywhere near Blac Chyna if his name wasn't, you know what I mean, Kardashian. It
Right.
is what it is.
Would
You know
would
what I
you call
mean?
Rob
And
Kardashian a simp to honor?
No.
that is a simp. See,
No,
this is the problem,
no.
man.
'Cause Rob,
Y'all don't even know what a simp is, man. Like, this the problem. He a whole simp, man. That's a simp.
If he ain't listen, if Rob Kardashian ain't a simp, it ain't no simps. It ain't no simps in the world.
Seriously.
So here's what I think
Y'all
about.
gonna sit here and be like, Will Smith is a simp.
But see,
Rob Kardashian, that's not a simp, though.
I watched the actual reality TV show, and he wasn't
Right.
like just being bullied. He was vocal. Like, he wasn't no pushover. She was a little bit crazier than he is, but he is not no pushover. He was very vocal. He always stood up for himself. The thing with Rob was he went through a depression for years, and he stayed as a hermit. He didn't come out, and he gained a lot of weight. And Blac Chyna kind of brought him out, and she made him lose weight, and she kind of got him back out there. You know what I'm saying? But Rob is always the kind that kind of date Black women. You know what I mean? So he's always that kind that's like got a little, you know, I don't know, a little, you know, hipness to him, I guess. But when y'all see him on the reality show, he not no pushover. He don't be just like letting her. He go back and forth with her. That's why she always escalates things to violence. That's why it always escalates, because she can't win with no other way. You know, he knows how. He'll walk away. He'll let her talk. He'll wave her off. He's dismissive. So I didn't see him being like a pushover the way y'all explaining. That's what I'm saying. Because I watched the actual reality show.
If she had a side dude in the bed and he went for that,
he was trying to get he was trying to get her. She was trying to get his attention because he cheated on her. She was trying to get his attention. He cheated on her. She was trying to get his attention, and she went crazy, right? She went too far, and he ended the engagement. See, that's what I'm saying. How is he a simp? He broke off the engagement with her. He ain't dealing with the chick no more. He take care of his kid. He trying to keep the peace because of that, I think. But at the same time, he did kind of was like, all right, no, like I ain't gonna.
I mean, you could be a simp and a good daddy. I mean, it's not impossible. I mean, there's plenty of simps out there that are great fathers. They should just still a simp.
Y'all hard on me, but you know what? I'm gonna let y'all go with that. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate this conversation because I really got to hear you guys' perception of women in the media, the power of the media. Like, if you listen to all of us, you can see how the media influences all of our perceptions of people.
Yes.
You know,
yes.
And because it's so powerful, it's definitely influencing people's perception of Black people, right? Like,
yes.
You know, is that something that we should even care about or be aware of? I think I got to do a part 2 because I really want to talk about, is that something that we should push to change, this racialization of Black people in the media? Because I feel like I don't want to be associated with people like that, because that's not my life. So if something happened to me, I want to be treated like a victim, because at the end of the day, I want to report my stuff seriously, and I don't want to be racialized based on a group. And why is that happening? So how can we change these perceptions? But as I know, the media is powerful, and it's able to change people's perception of individuals. And perception is reality, whether we admit it or not.
I think white people have the advantage over stereotypes with just being white, right? But Black people, you just can't.
Fuzzy background. I mean, it's a lot of stuff going on, right?
It is. It's still going.
It's really bad. Yeah, I mean, I was gonna let you talk, but it's real bad. I want to end it right here, though. I do want to chop up this video because we talked about so many different topics. I really want to chop it up for everybody, but thank you guys so much. Thank you to my gems and jewels for coming, for listening to this conversation, for chiming in, calling me out. Hi, L Doctrine. Hi, Tristan. Hi, all my people. I'm gonna let everybody wrap up. Turn your YouTube off, Freezy. I'm gonna let everybody wrap up, give their final thoughts. I wanted to shout y'all out. Make sure y'all like my video. Make sure you subscribe if you have not already. Thank you to the new subscriptions. I am almost at 500. If y'all just share this video, I'll probably be at 500 tomorrow. So, just share my video, like my video. Because once I get 500, I can have a community page and I can post. So I got goals for y'all. So yes, if you want to get your final thoughts on the power of the media and can it really just change perceptions, just lead everybody with your final thoughts on this subject. And then we gonna peace out, y'all.
Well, to Freezy's point, it's funny how he said this, and this is a metaphor for life. The person who's able to make a phone call first basically controls the narrative, and that's white folks. White folks always got the access to the microphone and the phone before everybody else, so yeah, they can control the narrative. And always remember, man, that 9/10 of the truth is perception. There's the truth, and then there's the story that helps everybody sleep at night. And sometimes, those aren't necessarily the same things. And there always will be, stereotypes, perceptions, so on and so forth, or whatever, but we do have the choice, and we can create the opportunities to not become examples of these stereotypes. We do have that power, and we have to believe that we have that power, because if we do not, we'll continue to be slaves to the narratives that people create about us. And I'm done.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Of course. Thank you, Haran. Go ahead, Freezy. What you say?
Am I good now?
We can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, so basically, I feel like white people do have the advantage over stereotypes with just being white. Black people have to understand you're not going to get the benefit of the doubt. It is a racial thing. Let's look at it for what it is. We have to, I don't even want to say better, but be more responsible just with the way we live our lives. We have to be more responsible with our imagery. It is what it is. Okay, it's not an equalization out here. So we have to take responsibility and take initiative and understand that it's an unfair race, but we have to train a little bit harder for the race. We have to take responsibility, especially black men. Black men, every other race has knows that the man is the leader. They're looking at the black man as the leader. The black man has to take the forefront and make everybody else in the community understand. Listen, this is how we need to carry ourselves. This is the order of things. This is what's acceptable and what's unacceptable. And we have to lead by example. And I know this is kind of new for y'all hearing Freezy say this, but I always felt like this, quite the contrary. But I just feel like the more to the story is, if you're white, you just right. That's just right. If you white, you right. That's how people, and I'm not saying that's true. I'm just saying that's how society looks at it. Mm-hmm. This is the reason why we have Karens. That's why Karens feel like they can make frivolous police phone calls for stupid shit, right? And get away with it because they feel like they're right because they're white. So we have to understand these things and get a jump on these things and understand the game, because that's what it is. But I just want to say I love all my people, and Freezer pro-black.
Yes. everybody, thank you guys for supporting us, and make sure y'all come back next week because I'm going to talk about like the dangers of dating apps and like the dangers that women put themselves in and that. But I want to say that one thing that stood out to me was Megan kind of saying that she didn't report everything because of this whole George Floyd thing and like the Black Lives Matter movement. And it brought me to this conversation of like how that was so destructive to us, in my opinion, because I feel like what's happening is women are deciding not to report stuff, and they're saying, okay, I'm not gonna, like, I don't want to tell the truth about certain things. And Black women are thinking they are protecting Black men by doing this. And what's really happening is the reverse, is that it's actually causing the criminal system to lessen charges for behavior. It's causing certain behavior to be dismissed. And it's starting to affect women in a different way, in a different light. So that's why I say it's dangerous. I don't necessarily disagree with some of the action that's being taken, but I want women to be conscious of this idea, this fear tactic of saying, okay, if you report a Black man, he's going to be killed automatically, or he's going to be murked automatically. I'm sorry. And, you know, we need to really think about the way the Black Lives Matter movement is affecting decision making in our communities. But I do think that media plays a huge part in the way we are perceived to the world. And so I want us to talk about that again. I think this is going to be another, because I really wanted to talk about the different archetypes, you know, Haran, from the article you sent me. I think that would have been really good to talk about some of the perceptions that we have in the media. So I will have another part to this conversation. But next week, I want to talk about dating apps and this whole dangerous thing that's coming from these dating apps. So we really need to get into it. So come back, y'all, next Sunday. We're going to talk about it. I'm going to invite Haran back. I'm going to invite Breezy back. I'll open the panel again. I didn't really open it too much, but a couple people came in and joined in. So I will open it and have some ladies on the panel next time so we can talk about these dating apps and the dangers that's been coming up from it. But you guys take care, and I'll see you next Sunday.
Can I say one thing before we leave?
Yes, go ahead, Freezy.
We're back.
Excellent.
Take care, y'all.